Yeah, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
Yeah, happy Friday, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. Friday, June 14th, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all made it through another week. Don't forget, Father's Day is this weekend. We are going to bring on at least one guest tonight. We're going to do part 6 of our continuing story, the continuing series reviewing Keith Gill, aka Roaring Kitty's original DD from, we started back in July of 2020. We're all the way up today to covering December 11th. Q3 earnings of 2020 is what we're going to be watching today. Get your drinks ready. He says cheers a lot, and the rules of this live stream is when Keith says cheers, you have to take a sip. And let me just say, I would recommend beer or wine over hard liquor, because there's going to be a lot of cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring on our first guest. I call him the mediocre trader. You guys call him the monkey tamer, or is it the other way around? Anyways, let's bring on the monkey tamer. Mediocre, how you doing, amigo?
Happy Flag Day, everybody.
Happy Flag Day. We got Happy Friday, Happy Father's Day in advance, and Happy Flag Day to boot. 3 things. I think we should cheers to that, mediocre.
Cheers. I got a shock top here. Let me get it.
I got to crack my IPA. We've got the Brujas Brew. Nice. Bruja being Spanish for witch. Why do they call it? What do they call it? It's only 7%. I don't know why. Don't know why.
What's up, Anya? What's up, Tony? What's up, Koba? How y'all doing tonight? Hopefully good.
Not a bad week, mediocre. We're not quite on a ribeye week because GameStop and AMC didn't squeeze. My other plays are doing okay. We're somewhere between cheeseburger and sirloin. We're definitely not in chicken thigh family pack Friday, though.
Well, at least we're not eating chicken thighs, Tony.
Salud.
Salud.
I bought a lot of new stuff today, but we're not going to talk about other tickers tonight. We're going to talk about Roaring Kitty and GameStop. We'll let a few people come in and see what questions y'all have. Before we get started with the old DD, let's see if there's any burning questions about this week's trading action. And I want to put up the screen of the stock. Let's see, it's this one here. Here's our GameStop chart for the day. Let's go to the 1 hour. So we closed yesterday around 29. We kind of were all over the place in after hours and pre-market, and then we just kind of traded flat today. I think we talked about that the other day, mediocre, that we thought this was going to kind of be a flat week now that that Keith exercised or sold his shares, whichever it was. It doesn't really matter to me, the mechanics of what he did, just that those options aren't sitting out there anymore, right?
Nope.
So we closed at 28.70. And after hours, we closed at 28.48. So not too bad. I'm still in the play. My cost basis is very close to Roaring Kitty's for a momentum trade, a swing trade for me. And so I'm well in the green, and I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hopeful that next week. Well, I'm more curious on Monday when they have the annual shareholders meeting. What's going to be said, if anything? If anything, that's the question. And regardless of anything interesting dropping in that meeting or not, I still think that there is some momentum with traders. But now that we had that kind of artificial date, mediocre, of June 21st due to his options, but now that date is gone. There's no more deadline. So we're all kind of flapping in the wind here, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Which way do we go?
I don't know. Which way do you go, boss? Which way do you go?
What do y'all think in the chat? Which way do we go next week? Anya says chicken thighs are good. Yeah, I have nothing against chicken thighs, Anya. I'll throw a family pack of chicken thighs on the grill or in the oven. It's kind of an inside joke about my shopping based on how successful my trading was. It's a reward or punishment strategy. If I didn't have a fantastic week, well, I make myself go buy chicken thighs. And if it was a smashing week, then you get the reward of the family pack of ribeyes. Cody says, Tony, I was disappointed last 3 days. Could have sold and made 2,500 Tuesday, and today 1,400. What were you? Did you have options? There were a couple points, Cody, where when we were trading over $30 this week, my gut was screaming at me, sell that bitch. 30, 32. What do we get
Sell
up to?
it. Tony.
This right here, 33.59. I was like, and I was like, no, just wait till 34. And of course, whenever I tell myself wait till X, it never hits X. So, but I'm okay. They're not gonna throw me out of this play with it trading flat. I'm perfectly fine holding it. There's, I think, a little risk of this thing getting pushed under $20 anytime soon. Sparky says still decent $20 call stack, 60,000. So I have to see what it does Thursday and Friday. Yeah, let's pull up the options table real quick. And just looking at the fundamentals, Sparky, and the cash on the balance sheet, and the fact that we have that unknown X factor of what is GameStop going to do with that money. I want to see something that brings in earnings. We need some return on those assets, some return on that equity. The fact that they could do something, I think, is going to give the shorts a little bit of pause to push it down too low. Whereas before, they might have been happy to push it down to 10 or 11. Now that could be a really dumb decision. If the shorts push it all the way down and then GameStop drops the news, you'll get wrecked real fast. So we got two buckets we've been talking about this week. The fair value, aka fundamental value, is still pretty low, around 11, 12, 13 bucks. But the potential value, if you want to factor in some X factor for an announcement, an acquisition, something that brings earnings to the table, that I think it makes this a really dumb play to short under 18 bucks until we know what they do with that money. What do you think, Mediocre? Am I making sense?
Yeah, I'm just being cautious. You know how I am. I've been cautious lately. Just trying to get a very good entry, and I think I will in time. It may not be this week. It may not be next week. But I think I could get a decent enough entry. And
I wouldn't mind adding a little bit more under 23 if it got down to. I'm not saying it's going down to 15 to 18, but if it did, and we don't have any news, we're just hanging out, I'd probably buy some right now, just, on the off chance that they announce something with their money. But for all we know, it could be a week or it could be a year before they announce something. So
I like that they got all that cash. It makes it a safer play for me to enter into.
Yep. And I'm going to do some more detailed modeling over this weekend about what kind of returns we could get on that cash, depending on what they do. And then we can model out some new fair value assumptions based on if you think they're going to invest all of it in treasuries and make 5%, or they're going to invest some of it in Bitcoin, or they're going to invest some of it in some other asset or acquisition that brings them in a greater return than 5%. Based on those expected future returns, what could we model as a potential new fair value? And I think that'd be an interesting discussion, because right now I hear a lot of guesses about what the stock is worth. I even saw Kevin Malone wrote an article on Benzinga, and gosh, it's very speculative, and not even any real analysis to back up the DD that's being put out there. I think it's fine to speculate, but show me, show me your work. How are you getting to your numbers? How are you getting to a $50 price target? Sounds good. You can't just say 5x book sounds good to me. No, don't work that way.
What do you mean, Tony?
I gotta have earnings, mediocre. Gotta have earnings, buddy.
Can't do it with hope.
You can't do it with hope and book value. That don't work that way. That it will eventually get shorted. But maybe, mediocre, they're setting a trap. They're not going to announce anything because they want the shorts to bring it down to 12, and then boom, Ryan is going to drop the news. I don't know. Let's see what else we got here. Sparky.
Hey, I heard people. Before you continue on, real quick, I heard that some people really liked your shirt you were wearing the other night.
Oh, my HODL shirt.
Yeah,
diamond hands, baby. Yeah.
Right.
Just because it's a relic of the past, mediocre, I don't throw away perfectly good shirts.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
What's up, Broke Ape?
25 strike for next week is pretty heavily loaded on GameStop. $30 strike is really interesting. I think it's worthwhile pointing out how many people lost money on $30 strikes today. This is the problem with gambling on call options. Why I don't have any on GameStop. They're so damn expensive, and a fuck ton of them expired worthless today. So hopefully, for y'all next week, if you're holding call options, we get a little better price action. A lot of action at 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50. I mean, it's loaded up. What you won't see me doing over this weekend is making 5-hour videos talking about the options chain is definitely going to drive the price up. The option chain will drive the price up if something starts moving the price up. Then you start getting the gamma ramp. But if we don't have a catalyst, everybody's going to lose their money. We need buying pressure, and we need a reason for the shorts not to short it. And then once you start moving in that positive direction, it becomes a self-reinforcing thing as you start moving up and taking out those strikes. So I will cross my fingers for Monday. And mediocre, did you hear? Did they find the 4 million shares for Keith?
I didn't know they were lost.
The bottle flip kid says, guys sound short. Mediocre, do you short any stocks?
No.
I have never shorted a stock in my life, Mr. Kidd, the honorable Mr. Kidd, but thank you for asking. What else we got here? Sparky says, before any asset buy comes out, hard to short cash. So agree, not much reason to push it under. It looks like 2021 again at 10. Agreed. Broke Ape, what's up, amigo? I'm about to I have half a mind. I don't mind Mr. Bottle Flip asking a question. The guy sounds short, but when you follow up with the clown face, it makes me just want to. You're not ready for the truth of a real DD channel. It sounds like you like those clickbait hopium channels, the ones who were wrong every day for the last couple of weeks, while we're over here selling and making money as the price runs up. You might not like a channel like this where we actually make money on this stock. It might not. It's not for everybody. I get it. It's not for everybody. There's safe spaces for GameStop diamond handers on other channels, and we've been beating them with profits long for 2 years running now on quarterly swing trades. But yeah, I'm just giving you a hard time. You're fine. You're fine. Believe me, the vitriol I get on a daily basis just for talking common sense and basic finance, I get a lot of hate. Hang on 1 second. Yes, wifey. Tebow needs to eat. Everybody else is fine.
Don't put that back in there. Did you give him his medicine this morning?
No.
I want a T-bone, Tony.
When did you start this?
We started at 7, babe.
And also, you want to know?
Hi, Scarlett.
What do you think I'm going to tell you?
I don't know, but I'm live right now, babe. I'll get with you in a little bit.
Tony, I had a job offer from Florida, Texas.
Okay, great. We'll celebrate when I'm done here.
And my interview today went good too. They're going to get back to me on Sunday.
High five.
Good job on the interview, Scarlett.
she got a hush. She said she got a job offer. She just got back from an interview at the new clinic, Mediocre.
Nice.
Oh, but I there's a rule: don't interrupt the live broadcast. And she's breaking the rules. So, and the dog is Tebow, like Tim Tebow, not T-Bone. If that'd be funny, a dog named after a steak.
That's all right. I want a T-bone steak, Tony. I think I deserve one after this week. We'll cheers to that.
All right. Do you got any other comments before we roll into having some cheers with our good friend Keith Gill? Any other comments, questions, you guys? Just to recap for everybody, the reason we're doing this is I didn't watch him. I've watched some of his DD, obviously, over the last 3 years. But I did not participate in GameStop in January 2021. And I think, both myself and many of y'all aren't familiar with his original DD. And I get it. We're in a different place now than we were back in 2020. I get it. But what has been fascinating for us in the first 5 parts of this is to hear what he talked about in his analysis of GameStop versus what people are talking about today. It's like, couldn't be more different. And even on himself, he's a very much conservative value investor, just like I am. We've seen evidence of that from all of the hours that we've watched him in this series so far. I'm very curious at what point we get to where he flipped to being the YOLO guy. How about you, Mediocre?
Yeah, I'm trying to find that out.
I can't wait till we get to that part. What made him flip from Mr. Here's my value thesis, it's undervalued, market cap's under book, I believe in the company, it could grow maybe 2-3x from here. How did he flip to rolling the dice on $200-300 million?
But he did say, Tony, in his live stream, I will give him credit. He says he still believes the same thing he did in 2021 or 2020, whatever that means.
Whatever we end up finding out, I'm hopeful I learn something. I mean, so far I've learned that he's a very rational, or was a very rational, methodical, spreadsheet-based, financial ratios-based analyst, which I love. We need more people like that. I also momentum trade, so not in the league that he does, where he's just like $60 million on call options.
Oh my God.
My risk tolerance won't let me do that. But I like momentum trading too, so I can bridge both. I want to know where he just decided, fuck it, forget financials and fundamentals. Let's just go full YOLO.
Tony, I just want to say that if I put 60 million on call options, my heart would have exploded. Just,
Yeah.
the first 10 minutes after I did that, I would have been I would have not be here probably. I try to take emotions out, but that would be an emotional trade for
I don't
me.
remember.
That's interesting. I couldn't believe it when my eyes when I seen that.
Well, let's see what he has to say. So this is Q3 earnings, December 11th, 2020. Don't forget the rules. If he says cheers, you must take a sip of whatever beverage you have. If you're smart, your beverage is water. I'm just going to say.
Can I switch? Can I switch?
You're not going to switch. You're a co-host of the show
My father's
tonight.
right here. He's listening in and he's with us.
Daddy-o, how you doing, amigo?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Happy Father's Day.
Everybody out there.
He's got his water over here.
Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you.
I don't know how you put up with a kid like mediocre, but I hope he does something nice for you this weekend.
Hey, listen, I know how. You making money, Daddy-o?
I'm making money. He's a smart young man.
All right. You raised a smart one.
All right, let's get rolling here.
All right. Let me switch the speed. We're going to move him up to 1.2x speed. It's a 5-hour live stream. We're not going to probably make it past 1 hour between your guys' questions and commenting as we hear something interesting. So let's get started. Don't worry. We're not going to be here all night. But let's get a flavor for how he's feeling mid-December on these earnings. Oh, I need to change the sound to...
Now I gotta watch this video with me.
And I also need to change the screen so y'all can see it. Screen share. That's the one. We got the right screen up. Now let me get the sound.
Well, I thank you, Bro Cape. Same to you. Happy Father's Day. And to all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day.
That much because I'm okay. I thought this was.
Can y'all hear him okay?
Is it? Well, I didn't really want to show up this. Oh, is this the one? Let me. I mean, on the intraday, there's too much going on in the intraday. But look at this on the daily. I felt as though this price action is holding up okay. I'll get into that more later. And then you had the whole readout, which we were doing real time that day. Thank you, everybody, for sharing all your analysis at that time. I know a lot of people had lots of opinions on different types of things. We'll get into that. There's many of them I agree with, some of which I kind of disagree with some takes I'm seeing out there, so I'll get into that. But then, of course, that next day, it just so happened. So you see what Ryan Cohen's retweeting, right? It just so happened, many people had seen this, right? But I had tweeted out, this, a lot of people, just Jim Cramer, right? I had retweeted out being like, whoa, wait a second here. And the reason I did this, the day before, I had seen this one too. So this is Jake. I don't know Jake, but I track some of his stuff. He usually has some good research out there, and so he's got a lot of followers and everything. But I saw this and I thought, whoa, this is kind of the prevailing take out there that like GameStop is just one of these just foolish kind of just stocks that are just going gangbusters and it doesn't deserve to, right? And I'm like, oh, that's the wrong story, right? That's not this is the story that continues to remain pervasive out there. And wait a second. Hey, is the Owl Gang in the house tonight? Is the Owl Gang in the house tonight? Because here's what. Oh, sorry, I got to interrupt myself. Look at this. I got the Owl Gang. Cheers to the Owl Gang.
Cheers.
When I seen this shit, I'm like, oh, I'm getting that this week. I mean, I'm definitely getting that, no doubt about that. So, cheers to the Owl Gang. If y'all in here tonight.
That's too mediocre.
So I just looked down at my beer. I'm like, oh, I got to give a shout out to them. But so I saw this. I'm like, oh wow. So folks out there still kind of getting the wrong story. And there was not much to here, but I thought when you read that, I thought, wow. I was just thinking to myself, like, whoa, here it is, December 2020, and we've shared a lot of our research, have opinions as to why GameStop's rising, and many of us believe it's legitimate, of course, myself included. And I'm thinking, oh, that's not really the right take. And then shortly after, the next day, I can't remember, you saw this Jim Cramer thing, and so I retweeted the same thing, like, whoa. Obviously, he's going to have a ton of followers, so many people following Jim Cramer, and I'm like, damn. He's even saying this blockbuster stuff still. I know he's not. Many folks aren't digging deep into this, right? And so they'll just do that they'll just do that. Hey, here's the story, and again, people will click because it's a popular. It's become its own meme effectively, and I thought, whoa. So I had the same reaction. I'm like, whoa, okay. So people and everyone's gonna click this and blah blah blah. And then wouldn't you know, shortly after that, Ryan Cohen he retweets it too with his first tweet. Wasn't like his first tweet since his first tweet ever. Most of them just retweeting on articles. So I mean, that was a riot, right? I was like laughing my ass off at the time. And
It's a very cryptic
It's a
tweet.
plus emoji, right?
It's
If
just
you
a
hover
face.
over it in Twitter, I think. Watch this. Oh, I thought if you hover over it. No, I thought it did. I could have sworn I did it earlier. Wait, let me keep it there a little bit longer. I don't know. But it was like, what does that mean? I don't know. Hold on. Is this
It's kind of like all of Ryan's tweets. What does it mean? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So lots of people talking about that. And then I got that.
Some things never change.
So then we'll get
mediocre.
into a whole bunch of the takes that I'm seeing people's responding to Q3
Nope,
earnings.
not at all.
Most notably is that at the money offering, which I continue to believe, many folks are deriving the wrong story from that. I had said that night that I felt as though people were overweighting what's transpiring there, and as it turned out, it blew up. It blew up even a bit more than I was expecting it would, and I didn't think it deserved as much attention as it was getting. It's notable. It should be discussed. We're analyzing it, but I thought the whole Ryan Cohen angle, and as to it being a reflection of like management not executing properly, whatever. I thought that was way overdone. I still think that right now, but we'll get more into that in a bit later. And so I pulled up some tweets here. So like right here, Maven Fun saying they're not raising money right now. This gives them the optionality if there's an opportunity to do so. And did I bring up a whole bunch? Yes. So I brought up a whole bunch of them, right? So thank you. Cheers to everyone who's tweeting stuff out, right? You're saving me. Like I
Cheers.
just like it and retweet, like bringing them up.
Another one, Tony.
I can just bring this up
It's
during
gonna
the
be a
stream
long
and
night.
talk about it. It's great. And so similarly,
It's Friday.
CCC
Fuck it.
saying how
We
they
don't have to be up
maybe
early in the
slightly
morning.
misinterpreting how it gives them the flexibility. And stuff. That's my big thing. And there was one more that was kind of talking about this, the shelf offering, meaning they have the ability to sell the shares and it's in their back pocket. Blah blah blah, and then this Brent here talking about if there is a squeeze opportunity, right? So that's it's not definitely clear what exactly their intent is. It could be they too are just playing the different probabilities out there. But the most important thing is that it has provided them some flexibility. What I find most curious is the dollar amount at $100 million. It seems like if I were in their situation, I would bump that up to be a bit larger of a dollar amount. But here's the most important takeaway: is that it's some flexibility. They specifically say,
If I recall correctly from my DD on GameStop back in this day, he's talking about a shelf offering and then a prospectus for $100 million. They never ended up pulling the trigger on that, which is kind of interesting. And then we had the January run up, if I remember the order of events correctly, and then they did a new prospectus for a bunch of shares, and that's where they raised all that money. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. It's hard to keep all these filings straight, but I'm pretty sure there was one prospectus they had filed that they never pulled the trigger on, even in the January initial run-up, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure on their filings at all, to be honest.
it's not intended to pay off the debt. They keep it very general, which is what they should do. But it could be that now, hey, they've showcased to the. Remember we talked about I definitely said this the other day because remember we talked about over the summer. Hey, what's a reason you might not execute or exhaust the buyback authorization? Because you want to maintain that strong balance sheet in the perspective of lenders, in the perspective of vendors. You want to make sure you have the supply, the inventory, blah blah blah. You want to make sure like everything's good to go. So same thing on a financing standpoint. We know they have debt coming due. What if their plans are to refinance or you know what I mean? Like if there's anything along those lines, and just like we just want to prove. To the folks out there that hey we could raise this $100 million in a pinch if we wanted to just to put everyone easy. That's like at $100 million that has to be like the base case. You know what I mean? It gives them.
It's if you just think about the irony and the perspective of how far this company has come in 4 years. They were debating about raising $100 million.
Yeah.
And now they just fucking raised $3 billion in a month.
Oh, shit.
Like
sitting on $4 billion in freaking cash.
it's amazing how things can change for companies like that. Amazing.
Them flexibility. They showcase that if they had to, they could in a pinch. If their store in the downside, it could be like if their stores are closed and they just needed that extra. You know what, like that. You know me with the downside protection. If I'm really trying to protect that downside, I love that optionality. I love that flexibility. I'm of the opinion that they should have had this already. I really like that stuff. Always have it on the books. And so, what if they did this 6 months ago? And then it's like kitchen sink type stuff.
Wow, mediocre. A investor actually advocating that companies have the ability to raise cash if needed.
Yeah.
He sounds like a fucking shill.
You don't hear that today, do you?
You don't hear that today. If I even try and say something close to that, you're a shill. He's trying to help the hedge funds. Ryan's helping the hedge funds. No, Kitty gets it. He gets it. I really want to hear his thoughts in detail about the two cash raises, though. Like he had to have known that it was a possibility when he disclosed, and the price started running up. But maybe he thought he was safe after the first one, and didn't really think they'd do a second. I want to know that story, Keith. Come in the chat and let us know, man.
I'd like to see him start talking more about the fundamentals of the stock again for people. You know.
Well, not much to talk about yet.
Oh, I know, but he was out there all the time, you know, putting out videos. Like,
I think he would say the same thing we're saying. It's the potentiality. I don't know if that's a word or if I just made it up, but the potentiality of $4 billion gives them. It makes them somebody to be a little bit nervous of if you're trying to short the stock, because you don't know what they're going to do with that money. And I'm going to give them the benefit of using it wisely. The bears obviously say they're just going to burn it. They're just going to waste it. I wouldn't be that sure yourself, you shorts, you short fucks.
Right, just get it out there, and then you have the flexibility. So that's one thing, the timing. But even the dollar amount, like I would have been okay, 200 million, 300 million, like I'm okay with that. Maybe there's some nuance there that I can't appreciate from the outside, that you kind of one of those trust management with that dollar amount figure. I don't know, but I like that option. And then you have this one right here on the squeeze. And just imagine. I'm not saying that this is likely or anything like that, but if you're a management team, and if this were me too, I always want as much optionality as I am allowed to have. And if I'm still seeing that short interest where it is, and I see the Ryan Cohen stuff happen, I'm like, yo, give me that at the money offering, because if this stock price does run to 25, 30,
that's
35,
funny.
whatever,
I said potentiality. He said optionality.
Like, with 200 million, 300 million, and even if that's not the base case, but I'm saying focus on the downside. Here are some downside reasons they might want to have that at the money shelf offering. Think of the upside. And then assign probabilities accordingly. But that's what I'm saying, this general optionality. And that's it. Move on. The thwarting Ryan Cohen stuff, I feel as though that's overblown. Like I said the other night during the stream, it would have been, you just adopt the poison pill. And maybe the market's pissed at that and the stock sells off. Okay. But that's the way you'd go about that. You don't make it so complex. If people disagree with this, let me know. I'm curious to see people's take, because this seemed to be a pervasive opinion out there, and I was kind of surprised. But it was funny because we talked about that. I'm like, I think a lot of people are going to run with that at the money offering. And so that was the big thing. But otherwise, I was saying this in one of the tweets, is that, but wait, let me just, was there other stuff I wanted to bring
I see in that tweet that
Brent, you talked about all year long.
Brent,
Xbox, PS5, like, and then the Nintendo Switches though is sold the most in November. This actually speaks to the next aspect of the supply issue, right? So maybe November's not as strong, partly because they just they had inadequate inventory, right? I would say that there was even less inventory, or there was even less. It had more of an impact on GameStop in November than I was expecting. I would say that. But now, like I said, for the short term, that sucks if you're a short term investor in GameStop, because like I said, if you're a longer term investor, it just gets spread out over more quarters. That's all that happens. It just gets spread out. And along those lines, I was like, all right, so
he is a very smart guy,
now,
Robert.
It could be that December is a bit stronger, maybe January. Then think about Q1 and Q2. If their stuff starts getting spread
we've
out,
become convinced that he's a very smart guy. Wouldn't you say, Mediocre?
Yeah, I think he's intelligent and he knows financials very well.
I mean, I can tell when someone is bullshit and when they know their shit. He knows his shit. When it comes to analyzing the finances of a stock. I wish we had more like him.
Rod updated his model. Thank you, Rod. And Rod, you just crushed it with this model. I've said this before, but Rod has always accepted feedback on this stuff and tweaking, and that's how you get a robust model with this stuff, right? Is that you say, hey, here it is, and then Rod runs with it. So just cheers, Rod, on this. I like the
cheers.
And then Rod's like,
cheers,
hey,
Mediocre.
And I'll adjust based on the new information we get. Gets the new information from the conference call and from the readout, the quarterly readout. Boom, updates it, and now it's a more robust model, because before it was kind of speculation. How's this going to impact things and whatever? It's still speculation, right? We're still trying to guesswork with the order flow, the online order flow and stuff, but. And then you kind of see how they did in Q3, because that was, I know they were tracking that previously. And it's like, okay, now we adjust accordingly. And then Rod, if this is your latest Rod, I still see $3, which ain't bad. Like I said, for my model, $5, $4, even $3 is still good for someone like me. Other people might have a different thesis. That's cool. But I always love the iteration, the iterative approach to this shit. And then And then again, maybe let's say that same right here, right? The supply is coming, but now you might get 1Q in 2Q that might be bumped up as a result of this. Like it gets staggered. Again, if you're a short-term investor, this type of stuff is difficult because it's more
What's
of
up,
a risk
Chad?
for those folks because it's like I don't know what to tell you. Because
Long time no see. How
these
you
are real
doing?
risks.
Happy Father's Day.
And then even store closures too. That's a legitimate risk, even with a longer-term time horizon. So those are things to keep your eye on. Was there other stuff here? Oh, I got this up for future reference in case you want to bring this up. Rod had tweeted that out. I know we talked about that a couple streams ago. But then the big thing, and then this price action. So price action for me, I find this good. You call me biased. I don't give a shit. It's not it's not ideal. Ideal would be about ideal pops on earnings, right? Come on, I'm not crazy. But
You sure about that,
I
Keith?
just think that if you have such a high level,
So right now, I don't know if y'all can see the chart, but remember when we watched part 5 a couple days ago, we were at the end of November and it had just run up to 19 and pulled back to 16 same day. Now with the earnings, it dropped. So we're looking at, he's going to talk about the earnings and the price. I think it closed that day at $13.30. So he watched it run up to $19 and then all the way back down to 13 in 2 weeks.
So I try to put myself in the opposite.
That's a pretty big
viewpoint
swing
of
on
my own
percentage
thesis, and I think
basis.
you really wanted a much stronger pullback. If maybe you get it next week, right? I'd say if we're below 13, if we're down at the bottom of this box next week, like let's say a week from today, if we're down at the bottom of this box, that would kind of suck. And my bullish tilt, I'd say, well, that was wrong. But I'm still kind of like, well, let's see. Q2, it looked wrong for a couple of days, then it bounced back. Yes, there was some Ryan Cohen stuff, but if you think I care, I don't. But at the end of the day, what matters is the stock price. And so maybe something comes out next week and the stock price runs back above this box and you say, well, it only happened because this. But I'm telling you, the market's predisposition.
I wonder if he does now.
Bullish, so let's see what happens. And so far, with that strong...
I need to hear more, mediocre.
Boom, boom.
I need to hear more now.
20%? 20%? Is that it? It sucks. I mean, it ain't 30%, it ain't 40%. And with my level of bullishness in this thesis, like that's what
I'm just going to say, guys,
the market's willing to knock it down.
It's funny how I can be an asshole about other stocks like blue chip stocks. They pull back 5 or 6%. I'm like, oh, the world's ending. But a meme stock, it drops 30 or 40% in a couple of days. You're like, oh well, c'est la vie. welcome to meme stocks.
Yeah, right.
We've become conditioned to some pretty hilarious stuff.
Much in such a short period of time. On a quarterly readout that I didn't think was particularly bearish. It wasn't super bullish. I'm not saying that. Like I said the other day, I would have loved more talk, more upward talk of, hey, here's where we're headed and all that, blah, blah, blah. And we didn't get that, and I think that's kind of what's opened the door for Cohen a bit. But it didn't break the thesis, and many of us felt that way going in.
What's up, Stock?
So then I think, okay,
Stockland
let's see how
Trades?
the
How you
market
doing?
digested in light of this, because you got the fundamental analysis, which we did. And it's like, but sometimes the market might have a different interpretation in the short term. And the market's kind of okay with that. You didn't get that quick run up again, but boom, stops. And then I'm impressed that it's kind of holding that $13 level. Higher lows this whole way up, and it's right back to that trend line, which has been the trend line is, I believe, untouched. I don't think I've ever adjusted this trend line since October. This green trend line, and it's a nice roughly 45 degree. I don't know. I mean, I don't got a protractor. Does anyone even know what a protractor is?
Got a protractor.
I don't know. I
love it.
But it's a pretty decent trend line. It's been holding
He's
up
like, I
there
don't
pretty
know, I
well.
don't got a protractor.
And we're right at the 50-day moving average. I'm like, yo, yeah, it's a pullback, but it's okay. It's like the market's kind of like, all right, let's digest this. And I think if 20%,
It looks like about 40 degrees to me, mediocre.
If we were down like 12 and 11, or I mean, if we were breaking 10, I would have been like, shit.
We got any carpenters in the room?
Man, the market's got a drastically different interpretation than me.
What's up,
But,
Dink?
I
How you
think
doing?
it just so happens the market closed at, what is it, 1349, did I say? You can see it right there. It's kind of small. Market closed at 1349, follow Microsoft, and wouldn't you know, now we're hovering around that 1350 still right now, and I just think market's kind of just waiting. Sometimes it's a volatile stock. There's heavy short interest. There's a lot of uncertainty. We got price targets that are all over.
You haven't missed
place.
anything
We
yet.
have
We're
that
waiting
shit.
for
It's
him to
gonna be a
talk
volatile
about
stock.
the
Expect it to bounce all over the
Q3
place.
2020
But by and
earnings.
large, now it's been 2 months since that October stuff, right? We're hovering around that mid-13 range. The market is kind of waiting for something more robust. And I just think, ask yourself, do you think the next 50% move in this stock is up or down? And when I have to make that forecast, I say up. I mean, I say from 13, it's more likely you're going to go to 20 than you're going to go to 7. Especially, I mean, you know what I mean? Like looking at where I think free cash flows are going to be in the over the next coming quarters. I think that it's more likely 50% is up. And so yeah, it's so that I'm in the RSI too. Look at that RSI. It's not even oversold. It's not even oversold on the daily. It's
How about
it's
the
right within that
OBV,
triangle. I
Keith?
didn't even adjust these. I didn't
Oh,
adjust this
God.
RSI. I left that
I'm telling
untouched.
you.
Sometimes you tweet like you saw me tweet out that 5-minute chart. And props to the person who was like, isn't this extremely unreliable? Yes, it is. Yes, it is extremely unreliable. So cheers. It's big time unreliable. That's why I just say, hey, I don't have high conviction in this stuff. This is what I'm watching, and I had to adjust it lower. I had to adjust it lower today because it would even lower than that. No problem with that. I don't care. Just watch it. And then so I dropped it down. It retested those lows. I'm like, all right, so here's a possible range that I'm watching. This is what, 3 days? Who cares? It's 5 minutes stuff. But it got oversold a little bit today too, right? A little bit. Then it bounced back. Just watch it. Like that's what I think. I keep on thinking like if I had the wrong interpretation on the quarterly conference call, or if the thesis was broken, it should have been a stronger pullback.
What's up, Christian?
And maybe this sounds crazy to some folks, but if I'm on the opposite side of this trade, this makes me nervous. I know it sounds great because it's a 20% sell-off. They've been validated. I'm like, I don't think so. This is the time for it to sell off. You got that bearish shit. Here you go. Boom, knock it down, right? We've had a number of opportunities that second half of October, the market selling off. Boom, GameStop could have kept going. Didn't. It stopped out. Yes, it got hit. It took it on the chin. It was
Boom,
down 30%,
headshot.
40%.
Boom,
You might argue that's a big
headshot.
move, but in the context of how quickly it had run up with everything going on, I think that's par for the course. It was kind of overbought and blah, blah, blah. And the market was down. That's okay. And each time, higher lows, higher lows. So I like this 13 level. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Let's keep that going. Let's keep that going.
It does
And in the
look pretty
meantime, this is
good.
why
You
I
got to
say,
admit,
in the
still,
meantime,
even though
what's
it
the
got
incremental
to
news going to come
pull
out
back.
that's going to be super bearish? What are you going to get? You just had that final quarter before the gigantic Q4, the biggest Q4 they're going to have in years. That was it. That was going to be that back quarter. And wow, is it going to
Scooby,
stop?
how you doing?
Is it going to just stop right there? I'm like, all right, I'll take that. Because it could have. That's the thing. These things, like my opinion, the market doesn't give a shit about my opinion, and so I just think, yo, you want to be bearish? Boom, write it down. So it stopped for now. Let's see what it does next week. But I'm telling you, if this thing pumps back up next week and we're back, if we break back above 15, above 16, that shit is bullish. That is extra bullish. If you get that sell-off following what many interpret as a bearish release, and it bounces back within a week, just like you saw in Q2, that's extra bullish. It's extra bullish. It's extra bullish. So keep an eye on that. Now, it could sell off. No problem. We'll reassess. We'll be like, damn, okay, the market did think that was more of a negative quarter than we thought. It's kind of giving back. Maybe the market sells off, takes it down with it. That's always an ongoing risk. I don't care what our analysis shows of the fundamentals. If the market sells off over the next 2 weeks, I don't be surprised.
Tony, don't they say that all the time?
Okay, get down to that $12, $11 range.
That if the market sells off, the stock price could be taken down?
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny because I didn't hear him talk about negative beta. He said exactly what we always say. If the market sells off, your favorite stock could get taken down.
Yep.
Red Dragon, what's up? He says, have you seen Inside Out 2? Not yet. We saw Garfield yesterday, and I need to coordinate with the wife. Next up is going to be Bad Boys or Inside Out 2. Like, I don't really care about the kid movies. It's not really the genre that I care about. I will go see it just because, AMC needs the money. But I have a feeling, she's not in the other room, I have a feeling that my wife is going to want to see Bad Boys Ride or Die.
Ride or die.
Ride or Die. And we have The Watchers. We have, that's on my list, The Bike Riders, Quiet Place, Day One, and Horizon. So I got like 5 more movies to see in 2 weeks. It's going to be busy, and I'm going to get them all in. Going to drag her to as many of them as I can.
I seen a video, a TikTok video of Will Smith going to see Ride or Die.
I saw that. He went to one at Cinemark and one at AMC.
Yeah. Yep. I was like, wow, that's cool. I didn't expect to see that.
Thanks for checking in, Red Dragon. Can we do a cheers for Red Dragon Mediocre just because Roaring Kitty's being a little stingy on the cheers right now?
Cheers, Red Dragon.
And I'm getting thirsty. I don't know if there's a new Popeye coming out. I remember the one with Robin Williams. That was not a great movie. It was Robin Williams and who was it Shelley? What the hell's her name? The skinny chick.
otherwise, just keep an eye on that stuff. Then you get that, the Santa rally in December. Some of these small caps, they can start running. That's something to bear in mind. You kind of see the Russell 2000 kind of start to outperform S&P a bit, and you can see this December rally sometimes, and it's not uncommon, especially with those small caps.
I'd like to see a good Popeye movie.
But that would happen across. You saw it this
Wipe
week,
that other one out of my memory. Shelley Duvall, thank you.
But this is all kind of marginal stuff. I'm just saying, I find that the 3-day support, which is nothing, right? But it stopped in the mid 13s. I'm like, okay, that's okay. Because now I think the market is getting a sniff. The market's getting a whiff of what's coming in Q4. Even if you
getting a sniff and a whiff, mediocre.
The market's gonna be like, are we about to get a $3 quarter?
The market's getting a sniff and a whiff.
It's gonna kind of start pricing a bit more. I'm not sure. Right. Even though we can all say, well, that's just one quarter.
Getting ready to blast off, Tony.
Secular long-term risk. Of course, I know that, right? Of course. Sometimes the market doesn't give a shit. Or he's like, oh, is that what you're gonna? Is it gonna be a beat? Imagine if they beat and blah blah blah. But and so you could start seeing the market be like, all right, now the worst of the worst of the worst is behind us. They could still not beat or not meet expectations. It's not definitely not going to happen. But now I think the market's kind of like, all right, so we'll see what happens. So that's the daily. I'd be curious about people's takes on the daily, right at the 50-day moving average. You know what I mean? It's like, what a natural stopping point, especially in the middle of the box. 50-day moving average on the trend line, high or low, boom. Don't make it more. In the RSI, not oversold in the day, boom. That's it. That's my analysis, and then I move on. And then the
Rokape,
which is
Rokape says, especially with Will Smith as Popeye or Conor McGregor, knowing Hollywood these days, they'd pick Queen Latifah to be Popeye. Rokape.
God.
Full time scale. I mean, when you start factoring in the longer term time scales, they tend to carry a bit more weight. Boom, right at the 8-week moving average. You know when we saw this before? The second half of October. Boom, back to the 8-week moving average. And then we tracked it for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row. And then it popped. I mean, it didn't pop off of it, but it bounced back to the high end of the box. Boom, right back at it. That's natural. I know a lot of people, hey, myself included, want to go boom, 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 stair step all the way through. I'll take that shit. But otherwise, it's chill. It's okay. But again, reassess. We'll reassess. You just keep an eye on this stuff. In the RSI,
Want some stair
RSI.
steps, Tony?
No, it's cool. It's cool. And so I think the market might just be waiting for what's next. What's next? Is it going to be the holiday readout or could it be something before then? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the hell this means. I don't know what this shit means. I have no idea. But I do feel as though that door's been open for them. I think that conference call left a lot to be desired on that upside. On the upside, even if they.
Sufyan says, Tony, it makes me laugh. People hating on you not liking AMC. Who's saying I don't like AMC? Are they blind, Sufyan? At how much money I spend at AMC?
There, continue to execute on that nuts and
Well,
bolts.
ain't that the truth?
I think you needed a better story on this front.
Sounds like somebody with an axe to grind and a liar. Sufyan sounds like a liar. I did do a check on all the AMC pumpers though, and I'm still blocked by all of them.
And
are you?
know he said in his letter, do I have it up? Sick. He mentioned 2020. I don't know.
I don't know why.
I don't want to read too much into this stuff.
Too much facts and financials.
Don't read too much into this stuff, but it's stuck out to us that day. The right steps in 2020.
Financials.
He could writes another letter, speaks out. Don't ask me. I don't know. I think as many bulls were a bit encouraged by that emoji. Like, okay, Ryan Cohen is like, do you see what we're seeing? Do you see what we're seeing? And so what if that's I forget how I phrased it in the tweet, but I'm like, the market's kind of just waiting. We're back to where that Microsoft level was, mid-13s, kind of waiting for what is going to be that next sentiment shifting catalyst. The market, whatever it is that causes people to change their long-term outlook on this business model, where they'll discount the probability of long-term secular risks in a terminal value of 0. It could come from anywhere. It could come from management announcing a new digital partnership. It could, you know what I mean? Like, management could announce something, just like they did in the surprise the market follow with the Microsoft news announcement. Oh, by the way, that came less than a month after they announced Q2. Even that surprised. It was like, I was thinking at the time, if you did have some material partnership or something that you wanted to announce, you might announce it during the quarterly earnings call, and then they didn't, and they announced it weeks later. Now, I have no clue if they even have anything, but if they did, now that we've seen them do it before, maybe they do announce it in the future, and that causes people, whatever, maybe. So maybe they're going to announce something, and maybe that was part of the reason for the shelf offering too, that they know it's a big announcement. They saw what happened with Microsoft. Hey, let's get this optionality just in case. I don't know what's going to happen.
Is he basically saying that they're setting themselves up for if the price runs up, they could sell into it mediocre?
And then they start to believe, right? Most people don't believe. They don't believe. See shit, see the short interest. No one really believes in that long-term stuff yet. No one with like substantial capital to start buying into the stock. So if something's on the horizon that could get them to
he is a 2% owner, Robert. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it for the. Cheers, everybody. Huh?
Cheers,
Happy
it's
Friday,
about
happy
time.
Friday. Lots to
I'm
discuss
getting thirsty
tonight,
over
as
here,
always.
Keith.
There's so much. I'm very curious to hear about people's takes on everything that I just talked about. You know what I mean? This is my trying to form my own opinions, share them right up front here, and then if you're like, I disagree with Roaring Kitty, like with this or that, that's great. That's cool. Especially if I'm wrong about stuff, because I want to draw maybe not the right conclusions, but the most probabilistically high. Blah blah blah. All right, let's do this. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. Hey, wait. What's up, Eduardo? Cheers. Cheers, Eduardo. Oh shit. Am I way behind? Oh,
Two
Really?
cheers.
no. Okay,
Really,
okay,
two
looks
of
like
them?
okay.
Two of
Hey,
them.
Robert. Welcome
That
back.
thought
Robert,
was
happy
good.
Friday.
I got to go get a refill. I'm already out of my first one.
Smash that like button. Cheers, Uber. Cheers. Chris Roth, welcome back. Happy Friday, Chris.
Jesus.
Rob Wolf, cheers. Making it to
Oh, God.
Whoa!
I'll be right back. I owe you 5.
Office is a good show, huh? I remember watching that shit in real time. That
That's
shit was dope.
really fucking cheers, man.
Especially those early seasons. TM, cheers. Welcome.
Another one.
Cheers.
That's 6.
Okay, people sharing their DD and stuff, and yeah, mark it down. Okay, TM's cool with it. I'm cool with it too. So far, I'm cool with it. Zedian, welcome back. Cheers. Okay, it's continuing
6,
to digest that
7.
conference call.
7.
Cheers, Matt. Happy
8.
Friday, mate. Jorge, what's up? Daily O'Brien. Oh, good use of that, Daily.
Oh my
Can I
God.
do it? I don't know how to do it. It's a very particular. I can't even do it. You know what I mean? Because you gotta get that flush face. What if I hover right here? Does that show flush? Man, I could have sworn. Cheers, Daily. Cheers.
Oh God.
Oh shit, Uber, you're gonna be on podcast.
Tony,
Sick.
pause this.
We'll talk about GME. All right. Oh, if you got links, we'll have to keep an eye out for that.
Pause
On
it.
Monday. Oh shit. Okay, next week. We'll
Pause
talk
it.
GME. That's terrific.
How many do I owe y'all? 8, 9?
Holy shit.
Come on, Kitty. Who thought of this damn game?
I'm gonna have to get another beer. This is crazy, dude.
I'm going to take 8 sips unless y'all think it was 9.
Give me a minute. Let me get reset up here.
All right. Yeah, I wonder, Robert, what is the percentage of ownership that gets you the conversation about a seat on the board? I don't know. This one's better. The first one was Brewhaus Brew. These are both by Shiner. This one is Wicked Haze Double IPA. That's a good drink. That is a good drink. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, we're going to let him roll, and I'll be right back on camera in a sec.
Uber, get it done. Getting that right story out there, I'm sure. Oh, so TM, so TM thinks that it's the money is sketchy. I don't think that. I mean, I'm not saying it definitely not, right? I don't know, but I don't think it is. I'm trying to think of a phrase. I don't think that it is, and but I share my thoughts. I'll keep going. Rigo, welcome back. Welcome back. Happy Friday, Dr. Crit. Cheers. Rigo's got it too. Is it it's flat, right? Yeah, it's just a flat. You'd think I would know. Remember, you see the Watchman, right? As soon as I saw the smiley, I'm like, yo, I gotta toss that in the Watchman shit, no doubt. Oh, damn. Oh, okay, so here we go. Matt on the opposite side. Matt saying the more I think about the shelf, the more I think it may be telling us Sherman and Bell are confident the share price is going higher, despite their knowing the market was likely to react negatively. So cheers to that. So
cheers.
I don't know, but that needs to be factored into our mental models here, where they're not dumbos, they're not dummies. They just
Anya, I think I mistakenly was doing math in my head the other day, and I said 5%. He was a 5% owner. And then someone checked me on that and said, "Are you sure it's not 2%?" And I redid the math. I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Let me delete my tweet because that was an error. 2%."
I was saying this over the past year too, specifically with regard to the buybacks, but with many other things as well, is that like they're not totally oblivious to this stuff. I think that's a mistake to think that not just this management team, but other management teams, sometimes they make bona fide screw ups, right? It happens. But in a situation like this, again, where I feel as though they've been executing fairly well on that.
Robert, the meeting could be pushed because there's some announcement they're working on, negotiation, like you're speculating. That could be my own personal speculation, and I don't know that I'm right. Anybody could be right. We're all just guessing. Is that they're doing an IT upgrade at Computer Share over the weekend so that they can be ready with the proper equipment and bandwidth for overwhelming demand. I think that their system is run on string and bubble gum, and they got smacked with overwhelming amount of people logging in. That's what I think. But I don't know that I'm right. Any guess is valid at this point. I will take a surprise catalyst announcement. I would love it because I am long the stock.
Nuts and bolt stuff over the past 18 months. Let's start with the initial assumption that it was deliberate and they knew what they were doing and they were doing it for a reason, whether it's downside or upside. If the upside could be that they think the price is going to run and they want to be opportunistic and take advantage of that, get a quick 100 million out there, and that's good capital allocation. That's smart to do. In fact, if I'm running GameStop, I want that optionality to perpetuity. I always want to have that. This is why. You hear me talk about Musk with
he sure doesn't talk like retail traders today, does he? Mediocre.
No.
What they're doing. Here's a quick $5 billion raise. Here's another $5 billion raise. I don't give a shit what you think.
God.
This guy is super smart. He understands why companies might want to do a cash raise.
Well, the stock price is elevated right now, but they made it clear. I don't even think they're gonna. I'm not even leaning toward they're going to do anything with it, right? That's kind of like my base case. But if it does rise, then it will look brilliant. Just like when everyone was critiquing their shot, maybe not people on the stream, but a year ago, everyone was shitting on them for the buybacks. Check the conference call.
Dink, I think what Robert was saying is maybe like they're working on some news about. Robert, you can jump in here. I think Robert's saying maybe they're going to have some news about Kitty, being offered a seat on the board. But you're right. In the latest prospectus or 10Q, there was some wording. I think it was the prospectus where they said we're raising money. We could use it for a merger and acquisition, although there is nothing active in the works for merger and acquisition. Sorry, Bed Bath & Beyond guys.
Tony, you think they're going to offer him a seat on the board?
I don't know. But yeah, for all the BBBY people that think that he's about to merge with Toys R Us and Teddy and BBBY, they did say in their prospectus there is no active deal in mind.
Them to shreds. Oh, here's a company that's going into secular decline, buying back. These idiots. Google them. You will find the articles. They abound. And now look.
Take your cat to work day. That could be a catalyst. A catalyst. I love it.
They look like geniuses. They look brilliant. How funny it is that such sentiment can change over 12 months. This is what I mean. They knew what they were doing. And I think the assumption should be, all right, they know what they're doing here. And if they do know what they're doing, what are they doing? You know what I mean? So start with that. And then if we say, but let's say that they're making a mistake. And then why?
Sparky says mergers don't happen that fast. It can take months, if nothing else, to clear hurdles from being a public company. Yeah, but also, Sparky, we have two ways we could branch out and think about this. They might have identified someone they wanted to acquire, but they didn't have the funds. So they could be further down the path than we think. And now it kicks into overdrive that they have the money. Or the other path, and if you got a third path, you guys let me know. The other path could be now that they have the money, they start the search, which in my mind means we could be looking at months or a year, just like Sparky's saying, to do the DD and pick the right acquisition target. You want them to do it right. And that kind of DD, accountants, audits, SEC paperwork, all of that, doesn't happen quickly. So which path are they on? Which branch of the fishbone?
Why do we think they're making mistakes? So I don't know, Matt, but I'm at least factoring that into my model of shit that maybe they're doing.
Are you guys, any of y'all familiar with fishbone analysis? Any engineers out there?
Doing this shit on purpose, and they think that the stock price could rise.
QA people.
They saw what a Microsoft announcement did. Granted, we're at a larger market cap now. Blah blah blah. Even still, it's good to have that. And in that light, I keep on thinking like it couldn't have been higher, but I don't know. Oh, Rigo agrees with that. Okay. Okay.
He's still going through this letter. This letter's old by now, man. Let's get to the fucking earnings.
JG, welcome, JG. What's up? Polygon, welcome back, Polygon.
He's been reading this letter mediocre for 6
Polygon.
months.
If Polygon saw that 5-minute chart today, I'm in trouble. Polygon definitely going to call me out today.
6 months.
Beep, boop, 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 boop.
Anya says,
So I saw something.
Anya, look at Anya.
The shorts, but
Look at the big brain on Anya. Fishbone analysis, 6 Sigma technique. Oh, hubby's big brain. Yes. I had to do all that 6 Sigma crap in my corporate life. And hat tip to your hubby.
See, we did see the short interest rose. That's right. I forgot to bring that up. I tweeted that out, but it rose.
Robert says, as a shareholder, I want the best for the company, and I believe had something to offer them. As you say, very smart man, family man. Happy Father's Day to all, by the way. Happy Father's Day to you, if you are a father, or any of y'all that are watching, you dads. Keith is a smart guy. He's obviously if nothing else, he intelligent, yes. Gambler, yeah, sure, but I don't hold that against him. He clearly has the ability to do financial analysis, but whether or not he's boardroom material, I don't know. However, that aside for a second, what better frontman, spokesperson for the company could you have? Pay him $100,000 for a board seat and a couple thousand stock shares. It's cheaper than paying $25 million to get Nicole Kidman to do a TV commercial. Am I right, mediocre?
That's right.
Give that man some shares. Give him a little bit of spiff salary. Let him Zoom call to some board meetings from the comfort of his basement. What? I would do it if I was Ryan. He's going to be like, what was that movie, guys, with Adam Sandler? We talked about this before, where they bring in the guy from the street and he don't know jack shit. And he gets on the board. What the heck was that movie? Somebody help me out. I should fucking know it. I can remember scenes from that movie. Mr. Deeds. Yes. Roaring Kitty would be like Mr. Deeds showing up in the boardroom with his fucking t-shirts and probably a beer in his hand. Hey guys, cheers.
Don't want to say that.
Deeds.
Jesus.
But I think he'd be a fantastic front man for the company.
Through November, whatever it was, late November. So it's up, and maybe it rose again. I don't know. My base case is always just it's in that ballpark, but I think that's what I mean. Oh, it's getting so high. Then you're betting on a weak holiday REIT. You continue to bet on continued weak performance, continued underperformance. All right,
get him on the payroll.
Really strong
Ryan
performance to warrant that level of short interest, and that's why I feel as though that it should have sold off more. It should have sold off more. We'll see what the latest is. When we'll get it. Well, good. It's going to include the next update we get is going to be in 2 weeks or so, and it's going to include the sell-off. We'll see. I did see some of those assumptions that who was it? Was Rod sharing them out there? I did see that, thinking that they're still elevated or even increased. But I think the run out of shares. Oh, I have this up. We saw the bar rate going all over the place. Look at that bar rate getting up there, huh? up to it was briefly above of 80 again. Just as just a proxy.
What about the short exempt volume?
You'll see lower rates out there. It's just the takeaway from here.
Anything on off exchange data?
It is rising, right? And I think that would be the trick.
I'm just teasing. I like looking at the short borrow rate. That's a valid data point to look at. All the other stuff that people are talking about, short exempt volume, off exchange, it's all bullshit. Short borrow rate and the amount of shares available, short borrow rate really, and short interest percentage. Those are two good data points for your analysis of a short squeeze play. Everything else it's a little bit of hocus pocus. I haven't seen any of those other data points in 3 years of doing this in dozens of stocks. Haven't seen all that other stuff really be meaningful.
It was, but reminder, it was super crazy high back in March. May, was it April? Was it May too? April and May, super crazy high. And what happened? It didn't go it didn't go crazy or anything like that. Be prepared for that again where it doesn't happen. But when you're starting to see it elevate, and now we're above where it hit in September. If this is accurate, I'm just kind of assuming it's accurate. Now we're getting above that. It's like, okay, what's going on here? Something
38% back in 2021.
We're keeping an eye on. But the price action since then, I saw some people talking about the shorts having an impact on the stock price. But if they are, they're not doing a good job because it's stabilized.
The reason I say that like the off exchange and the short exempt doesn't really matter is it kind of just flows with volume. And I can look at other stocks that aren't short squeeze candidates, and I can find some that have similar data. And I'm just saying, of all the tickers I've been watching, I'm not just watching AMC and GameStop, of all the ones I've been watching where people report on that stuff being really, really high, it hasn't really helped them. It's not an indicator that you're going to win. It might be an interesting indicator to look at, but I certainly couldn't make a video about it and say, we got this. We got this. Look at this short exempt volume. I want to talk about stuff that is meaningful. Like this data is meaningful that we got them on the ropes. And I just haven't seen that with short exempt volume and off exchange data.
Stock price, it didn't do anything. It had the initial sell-off, which can always be, it's important not to think that it's all shorts driving this stuff. That's overthinking it. There were longs who were, once again, just like you two, betting on a short squeeze type stuff, very short-term type stuff. And when they don't get that big, surprise, they sell off. Or they're betting on that short term. Look, it broke out. It broke out. It was bullish. You saw me tilt bullish. People betting on that, and then you don't get that big thing. Boom, sell off. Marginals. I think it's only 20%. It's maybe for other stocks that's a big deal, but not for GameStop. So anyway, I just think that the whole short type stuff, they're not, if they're trying to control stuff, they're not doing a good job, or they just don't have the effect that maybe some people are. I think it's staying right in that range, that you had that boom right there, and it's kind of stayed right there this whole time. So there hasn't been anything that's happened since. Oh, what was the volume today? Oh, that's not that much volume. That's not that much volume.
Anya says, is Roaring Kitty a big gamer? I don't know. Do you know, Mediocre?
24. 7 both days?
Oh, he's not there. Do any of y'all know? I don't know if he's a gamer.
7 both days? That's not that much.
What's up, Gus? What's up, Koba?
And everything, right? I don't think that's that much. I know. That's my opinion. Given the circumstances, I don't.
Mediocre, do you know? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I didn't miss nothing, did I?
Do you know if Roaring Kitty is a gamer?
Volume day in like the past 3 weeks.
No, I seen that comment. I'm not sure if he is or not.
Oh man!
If y'all know, let us know. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, I missed that. 7.
Robert wants to know what y'all think is going to happen on Monday with AMC.
Right, you're going to see some increased. Okay. And what did it do last time?
Robert, I think AMC's kind of tagging along with GameStop.
And then you saw the boom, 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 and we were like, whoa, okay. Maybe some folks are buying in.
I know that's kind of obvious comment, but there's no catalyst for AMC until we get into Q3.
Also racing. Cheers, Polygon.
Cheers, Mediocre.
Oh, damn.
2 funny. Cheers.
From the iron handing through earnings. Yeah. Oh, we're all in the same boat. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Chris said the same exact thing. We're all in the same boat. Yeah. Yeah, it would have been nice. There was opportunity for a surprise. I felt that.
Propagating
Still
plants.
there was
What's
an
up,
opportunity for a
amigo?
surprise. It didn't happen,
Laying in bed and
but,
chilling. Thank you for
yeah, it looks
spending
it looks
part
like
of
a
your
dumb
Friday
decision, right?
evening
But
with us.
with hindsight, it's that resulting, right?
We're just trying to have some fun and listen to our good friend here, Roaring
Maxar
Kitty.
bouncing back up. I mean, that was a top position of the Roaring Kitty portfolio. It's been volatile itself. It's been bouncing back Polygon. I think we had talked about that a while back. Okay. Okay, so Robert thinks he's blushing because of 2 years of the turnaround and change perception. Right. I think that's at least that's part of it, right? Absolutely, Rob.
What kind of plants do you propagate, by the way?
Oh yeah, that's less fun than. Well, what is Rod's bull case right now? Oh, almost 4. Okay, almost 4, and even the bear one right now is 2. And as I recall, I think Rod was saying he's like in the ballpark of what. Were there analyst stuff?
Anya, by the way, I got corn growing in the garden.
Everyone's got links to that.
I got at least 10 corn plants growing now.
I saw Telsey went down to 18, which I saw that, which was I thought okay, went all the way up to 19, bumped it down to 18. And what was the other one? There was another one that they like went the price.
My tomatoes, Anya, are 7 feet tall. I need to do a video update for you guys this weekend.
Where I was going with that was that this is in the ballpark of.
I have a gardening channel too, by the way, guys.
I think, but I don't know off the top of my head. Holy shit, Foxed! Oh, cheers, Fox!
Cheers, Fox! Oh,
he remembered his way back. Oh shit! Were we in trouble? Oh no! Welcome, Fox. Welcome. Great to have you back, Fox. Let's get to the bottom of some shit tonight, Fox. Right? Oh, is shit gonna be deleted? Oh, it's gonna be missing. Oh, I went way too. Oh, I blew it.
Cracks me up, man.
What movie's that from? Have I done that quote yet? Yes, maybe I did. You blew it.
I have never tried propagating a plant.
Hey, Cameron, what's up, Cameron? Welcome back. Cheers. Happy Friday.
Cheers, mediocre. Don't fucking run away, you son of a bitch.
Oh, Polygon. My crayon astrology is holding strong. Oh, damn, that is funny. Crayon astrology. Yo, I think I need to borrow that one, Polygon. I love it. Look at this. That's what it looks like.
Is propagating where you...
Oh, damn. Oh,
give me a Reader's Digest version of propagating. I'm thinking like it's where you take one part of a plant and splice it into another one, but I'm probably thinking of the wrong word. Propagating just means taking part of a plant and
roughly the same. That's what I say. Roughly the
cutting
same.
it and moving it and making it a new plant.
And I didn't see anything in Q3 that was going to cause them to budge. No way. You know what I mean? So like even right now, I think it's
grafting. Yeah, that's the word I was thinking of.
Level. Maybe it's even gone up a little bit, but by and large,
is grafting and propagating. That's not the same thing, right?
Higher, a couple million lower. I don't care. It's still above 60. I'm like, that's still high, and I don't think anything. I don't think there was anything that caused them to close.
Similar.
Maybe you had some marginal short. Folks who are short who closed out on a 20% drop, but that's what I mean. That's not that big of a drop considering the risks. I think I would have expected that you wanted a larger return given the risk setup. That's the risk profile. That's my opinion. But so there was nothing. That's the thing. But could there be a sentiment shifting catalyst on the horizon that could cause them to close? Maybe. I don't know. But I expect that it's still probably the same right now.
For whatever reason, Anya, tomatoes love my garden. And they're just starting to set fruit.
Yeah,
so
Polygon it is.
We're going to be in tomato heaven here soon.
Ooh, free cash flow forecast over the next couple of quarters. Yeah. What do we got? What do we got? Rods up here. Oh, he goes earnings. For me, it's sometimes they have a little bit of flexibility in that free cash flow front. I think they'll be able to generate. It depends. A couple of quarters. We're looking at like the subsequent 4 quarters from here on out, which is what I've been focused on mostly. You know what I mean? Like that first year, the first 2 years of the new console cycle. How much could they get into? And I just think it's at least going to be a couple of $100 million. That's what I think. You know what I mean? And they're going to have a couple of $100 million in just Q4.
Did he create a spreadsheet with notes? What is this spreadsheet he has here? Oh, that's somebody's tweet, isn't it?
Otherwise, and I think relative to the current market cap or the enterprise value, rather, is that I think it's
that's that really guy's
strong,
tweet that he was talking to last
time.
That guy took notes on the earnings call
by themselves, and then I just think, but if
damn,
be serious.
Hashtag things I have never done. Mediocre
variable that no one's really come to a resolution.
No, we just go watch it again.
I rewatched the earnings call.
Variable, but difficult.
I've never taken note on the earnings call. That's the next level.
But for me, I think we're gonna have a couple of $100 million at the very.
I bet May markets with May takes notes on earnings
where the
call.
stock is trading. I think that is continues to be extremely cheap.
She's smart like that.
Yeah, the sooner the better. Like I think I tweeted this out following the stream the other night, where the sooner Cohen and management comes to a resolution, the better. I think that's the best setup. If they just come to a resolution, and it could be, I mean, for Cohen too. But I just think that if they just put the activist stuff behind if they can, maybe they can't. You know what I mean? But
So
if
at
they
this
can,
point, I
that's
guess
like
what I'm hearing him
shareholders,
say, like Ryan
because
Cohen and the
they're on same
board
page. Boom, let's move forward.
still
Let's crush
hadn't
this
like
together.
made peace.
But indeed, one would think that it's in Cohen's best interest too to have things happen sooner rather than later, because he's a shareholder too, and a much bigger shareholder than the management team. Hey, Nicholas. Happy Friday, Nicholas.
Say cheers, you son of a bitch. I'm thirsty.
Polygon. Yep, there you go. Polygon calling me out. Long-term value investor with a 5-minute kit. Oh, did you already call me out, Polygon, before I said that? Oh, that's hilarious. You already did. I had a feeling I was doing the 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, Polygon's got me dead to rights tonight, and there's nothing I can say to that shit. Okay, Rigo agrees that sell-off is weak. It's again, I'm sure Rigo would change his mind next week, as I would as well. If it keeps on going, it's down 30% from boom. Yeah, it's a bit stronger.
Green onions when the tops are dropped off. Put the roots in water and grow more.
It's not particularly strong of a sell-off. You know what I mean? It should have taken at least.
I tried growing some onions and chives
down to 11s. Then we're like,
for the first time this season. I did not have great success.
I got some growing in my yard, Tony.
Sold out, Chris. Guilty as charged. Oh boy, it was a long
I think I
ramble.
planted mine too late.
I had so much to.
It got too hot
so much
too quick.
to say. Sometimes there's nothing to say, right? Although then
I'll try again in the fall.
5-minute charts, right? But there was a lot to say.
Yeah,
so many
buddy.
good. Cheers to everybody who shares. The people who share their analysis in the chat.
Oh, your garlic
all
out there
over the
too.
place.
Garlic.
I have garlic.
It
I
helps round out my
dug
own
one
thinking,
up.
and I
It
just think,
didn't
isn't
look
that-
super
that's
hot,
a big reason the
mediocre.
internet is great,
All
right?
the only root
The internet
vegetables
is
that did
terrific.
good was my
Everyone can just bounce
potatoes.
their ideas off each other, and you can interpret it.
I already
you don't take
harvested all
everything as fact,
those
but
for
it
the
can
spring
weigh in
crop.
your thinking and stuff, especially if there's people whose opinions you respect and it's readily available for you to read it. I think it's.
I got
good,
some
too,
beets
to, like,
growing
read
out
stuff
there
and
that
draw your
they're
own
looking
conclusions
good
when
on the
you're
greens.
analyzing something.
I need
Or
to
read
dig
it.
some
I've
up
said
and
this
see
before,
if
said this
they're
on past streams, like,
see how they look under the
quarterly
ground.
readout in the conference or in the press release, and then try to guess how the stock market is going to react to it. Like, that's kind of good too. But even do that with that's the thing with the stream. We were able to do stuff in real time. We were boom, 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 bouncing ideas off each other. But even these past couple of days,
Carrots
as the market
sucked.
digest stuff and we digest stuff, it's been great. So just thank you to everybody. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think it's a lack of sunshine. I gotta cut my trees back.
Oh damn! Cheers, Raphael.
Cheers,
Happy Friday.
Raphael. Cheers, mediocre. That's 2 cheers.
Well, Ryan Cohen walks. Well, I'd say that's a low. I'd say it's an even lower probability now.
I got you,
Post-emoji.
buddy. I'm here.
Post-emoji. Well, I already think it's a lower probability given.
Robert,
given the
no, I'm
actions
not
taken so
importing
far.
any
Not to
Cubans.
say it can't
I used to
happen,
buy
because it
Cubans
would
when I
be a
traveled
serious risk on the
overseas.
short-term price action, right?
I'd buy them in foreign countries and smuggle them back in.
The steps he's taken so far, he's going to.
But no, I just
resolution in earnest. And that letter isn't even a month.
order
old.
them
We said
from
that
a
when the letter
cigar
came out,
club.
we're
You
like,
can
well,
check
at
the
very
link
least,
in the
it seems
video
unlikely he's gonna
description.
walk away in the short term. 'Cause
I
otherwise,
get a
okay,
monthly
why would he
package.
put in the effort? That's my opinion. Okay, Polygon talking about those mediocre. They were the November wasn't as.
Hey,
strong as
mediocre, he
talked
talked about you. Did you hear that?
Nice if it was a
I
bit stronger,
did.
and it could be.
Did
that
hear
the
him.
supply issues had more of an impact
funny.
on GameStop than we were thinking. That's my first take. It's like, all right, that shit. Okay, now I'm willing to model that even more. I mean, more strongly moving forward. Like, damn, that this could or it staggers again for that November thing. Yeah, okay, it might be the quick tip. Oh, didn't people talk about this for November? What was it? Was it CVC? Who said it? I could have sworn someone. Oh, boom! Here it is. I didn't even get to that one. I didn't get to look over the NPD stuff, but the industry growth was up. GameStop, and then this is what people have been talking about this whole year. GameStop's the comps haven't been as strong, which is notable. They got to be talked about. But as I think in the coming months, in the coming quarters, GameStop, as they talk about, tends to dominate. Not well. I mean, they tend to do fairly well in those in the newness, as they say, in the newness. So
These are all my
might not
boxes
be as
of
strong as
cigars that I
like,
haven't
once
even
again,
put in the
because of
humidor
what that
yet.
market cap
One.
is. It doesn't even have to be. And like I
This
say,
is how
Rod's
we're so
stuff, and
delinquent
take
on
that
live
market.
streams.
That's-
2,
I'm a value investor,
Oh,
and I just
man.
think I can feel the margin of safety, and I think that even if it's
3
not as strong as,
boxes.
those comps aren't as strong as people are thinking about.
Each one
that
of these
it
has
was
12
gonna be
cigars in
and
it.
then it might even be delayed. And then Q1
From
and Q2 gets better. I already said that. but
Cigar
that's kind of
Club.
how I'm thinking about some of this stuff.
And I just got
and then there's that
I
whole
just
upside.
got my new
And I use
humidor
Cohen as a proxy.
packs.
I use Cohen as a proxy, but it could just as easily. be
My humidor is
existing
almost
management
empty,
team
so I need to
successfully execute
unpack
that-
these
execute that over
boxes
the
and
next 2 years. But
reload
yeah,
the
tougher
humidor. I even wrote them. I said, pause my fucking membership. I'm not doing live streams.
Talk about Cohen's
Give me a
impact on
break
the
for
stock
2
price and
months.
stuff. Yeah, we've talked about that a bit. That's right.
Anya
Polygon-
says
so
the
Polygon, I don't
cigar
have it up right
company
now,
should
but Polygon
sponsor me.
mentions
Maybe.
how
I mean,
everyone is quoting the
they should,
16.5%
Anya.
same store comps, but not mentioning the e-commerce search. I was asking about this on the stream. I didn't see it, and I missed it on the conference call. They mentioned it on the conference call, and I zone out sometimes.
They do pay me $1 or $2,
and
Anya,
then
if somebody
lose consciousness
orders,
that I
but
can't hear. I think it was 357%.
I don't think I've made more than
which was
$10
sick, and I'm glad they shared that. I didn't see it in the readout.
from
I don't think I did because I command F.
people that have ordered cigars from them. But I love the convenience of not having to drive to the corner shop.
350%,
smoke shop.
right? There was obviously a lot of those consoles. People were buying them online. That's how you got them. So
I'm all about not driving, Anya. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's still a good indication.
Let's see what we got here.
They were slow to get on this e-commerce front, but I still think there's opportunity in these year-over-year shit.
One
I think
pack.
is indicating that. But I agree, Polygon. But part of the reason that not enough people talking about because they didn't announce it in
2 packs.
in the press release, and so I think some people missed
Vacuum sealed.
on it, right? I mean, I missed it, but I have now seen it. But I did that was a good number, 357. But indeed, a lot of people homing in on that 16.5. Yeah. Okay, so I agree with Uber on
Yep,
this. So
they
cheers
got
to
the
Uber
little
said,
humidor
I get the
pack
impression
in
he's-
there.
I assume you're talking about Cohen. Cohen's fully convicted.
Sometimes
in the
when Kitty
incredible
pauses,
misplaced
Tony, I think
opportunity
you pause
that
it. I'm
GME's data, brand, customer base, supplier relationships are actually worth. Cheers. That's it.
pause it.
No one
Cheers.
says it's Uber
That was a
hits it out
cheers,
of the park.
mediocre.
That's that tremendous
boy, all
upside.
right, I
That's that
gotcha.
optionality that a lot
So
of
in each pack, there's
the
5, 1, 2, 3,
question
5
of
cigars. So
execution is
I get
outstanding.
10
That's not
per
the
month.
point. That's not the point. That's why I love when people like, oh, you got lucky Cohen got involved. Hey, maybe there's some truth to that, but
I'm
it's
going
still
to have to do a
value is
pause
value.
again.
Value is
I
value.
got-
And it surprised me that no one had made a move.
Or we're
sooner
gonna have to
on-
do
on
more
the
live
opportunity.
streams.
Maybe people just didn't want to deal with that. I remember thinking like, there is something there if you want to put in the effort. Maybe people are just like not worth the effort. I don't give a shit. They're not wrong. For some people, it's not worth the turnaround type stuff to fully execute on this. But I'm like, there's a tremendous opportunity there if you could successfully. I guess some people even disagreed with that. They don't even agree with what Uber's saying here, that that GameStop's data, the Power Up rewards data, right? The spending and behavior data on all those Power Up members and the brand that they have, how it's a household name, it has mind share, the customer base, the people still shop there. Is contrary to the views
Can
that are shared on
anyone
social
go
media,
live
that
with
people still
me?
do the
Robert,
supplier
yeah,
relationships.
anybody
And
can go
someone
live
mentioned
if I
this on,
send you an
Twitter, too,
invite.
about how the possibility of Ryan Cohen being like, F it, I'll just start.
Here's
my
the
own company.
problem, Robert.
It's
Mediocre. Do you want to tell Robert what the problem is of people going live with us?
You don't know what they're going to say. And
Not even that. Not that we don't know what they're going to say. We don't know if they're going to end up being crazy.
yeah,
There's a lot of people that I started off my channel trying to bring in all the new YouTubers, have big conversations, and without fail, every single one of them ended up turning on me, except for Mediocre and the Massalorian. Like, I don't know if they're bipolar or they don't like facts and financials. I don't know what it is, but
I do. I know what it is to me.
what is it?
You're an asshole. I'm only kidding.
I'm not an asshole.
Don't worry, Chad. I got him. We're good.
What did Chad say?
They didn't say nothing yet, but I'm sure they're gonna laugh.
Chad Clifford?
No, just a chat in general.
Oh, chat. Yeah. I don't even know if Chad Clifford likes me anymore. Yeah, I'm sure some of that's my fault, but a lot of these guys, man, they'll be your friend on live stream, and then as soon as you finish the live stream, they'll go make a video. Can you believe what this asshole just said? Oh my god. Right? Or the little whiny, snivelly, little pink panted bitches that are I don't know why they hate me so much. I'm not really a bad person.
The thing is too is when you're on a YouTube channel, for example, right? There's guidelines you got to follow. So, somebody could be disrespectful, and it affects Tony's channel or my channel or whatever, whosever channel it is.
I have
that stuff you got to worry about too.
I have people on here like Corax that don't agree with my viewpoints. I don't even mind bears on my channel, as long as they can be respectful, about the people that are here, and both the host, the co-host, and the audience. I don't care if someone disagrees with me. It's a lot of these people drop into this petty little gossipy little bullshit. And I don't understand why that is. But whether you agree, disagree, have a different viewpoint, just want to share something, I extend invitations to people a lot. Sparky's a recent addition. He's our new bond guy, much smarter than me when it comes to bonds. Just the problem is a lot of people got some sort of mental illness, like they can't act like an adult. Maybe they can hold it together for an hour when they're on the live stream, and then they lose it once we sign off. You know what I'm talking about, mediocre.
Possibility, but that's very expensive to do. It is costly to reproduce what GameStop already has. It is much easier.
Oh, sorry, I was talking and I was muted,
broken,
Tony.
what they haven't
That's all right.
pursued.
Sufyan wants to know if he could join us.
Sure. Hang on, let me throw him out an invite.
Yeah, he was calling me on Discord, so that's what that noise was. I apologize.
Has he been drinking?
I don't know. I only talked to him in text.
Sufyan,
We're gonna find out, Tony.
Sufyan, if you're coming in here to stir up the shit, buddy, I'm gonna smack you. But I like Sufyan because he's a certified public accountant, and he knows some things that I don't know. I'm not a CPA. Sufyan, I'm gonna DM you an invite. I like smart people. I especially like people that know more than I do.
Well, I'm not one of them, Tony, and I'm okay with that.
You know things that I don't know in certain areas of trading. You know that. Come on.
We work well together.
We all have our own strengths and weaknesses, and that's why we make a great team.
Yep.
Cohen sees, and he's like, "Oh, I just go with this bit. You already got the foot in the door. You just need to tweak a couple. Well, maybe more than tweak, but you get my drift." The cheers, Uber. Yes.
Cheers.
Jesus, I just clicked off the screen.
I'm like, okay, I'm already almost finished with my second one.
What do you mean they paying Ryan Cohen? Are we back to hoping? Oh, were people knocking Ryan Cohen following the last letter? Were they? So as for him being like the savior type, I would say that storytelling type stuff. Ryan Cohen,
hang on one second. I want to read. Robert says he just wants to come on to bullshit. When we have a bullshit night, Robert, I'm happy to have you on. He says he owns a scrapyard out in Maine. I wonder whatever happened to Maggie from Maine. I haven't heard from her in a while. Maggie, shout out to you if you're watching. We still think about you because I only have one viewer in Maine. Now I have two. Robert, thank you. I understand you have no AMC theaters in Maine, but you apparently are a GameStop investor. Do you have GameStop in Maine? He said, I watched the movie and I bought the stock, have been following since, and I truly like the movement. I do too, Robert. I know a lot of people think I hate retail because I talk about financials and fundamentals, but guys, I've been here every day with you for 3 fucking years. And did I have to change kind of like my strategy over time? Yes, but it's okay. We all have the same end goal. And I think there's multiple ways to success. All right, let's get the CPA on here real quick. Wait. Mediocre, we got an intro for the CPA. Do you remember?
Yes, I do. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Dull, my God, it's dull. It's so desperately dull and tedious and stuffy and boring.
What's going on, my man? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I love the intro, by the way. That's a funny one. Guys.
You know we love you. I thought about doing an accounting major in college, and then I was like, no, it's dull and it's boring. I took accounting, and I was like, I can't do it as a career. But yeah, God bless you.
You're You're smart.
'Cause-
You're definitely Tony. You're definitely smart. I can tell you're definitely smart enough to do it. But I don't know if you're interested full time to do it.
there was a lot of career choices that I considered that I was like, I love the topic. I love accounting, but I don't know that I could do it every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, but at a certain level, it's not just about accounting. You can evolve, right? Like for example, the CFO of AMC, he
Yeah,
probably
fair enough.
chose accounting, right?
I had accounting friends in college that freaking loved it. And
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I mean, if you're all about it, my son is getting his degree in accounting. He's getting it's either a bachelor's in accounting and a master's in finance or the other way around. He's fucking doing it. I was like, well, why are you getting a degree in accounting? Are you going to be an accountant? He's like, no. But it's a great tool set to have on the piece of paper, right?
Of course, especially also for personal investing, right, Tony?
He's going to go into investment banking. So
Nice.
both of those, accounting and finance, are great for him.
That's another tough field.
Yep.
Another tough field.
Well, what do you have for us tonight?
Just wanted to hang out, say hi, and if you had any questions for me.
I want to hear your thoughts on valuation of GameStop, but can I get a beer refill first?
Oh no, I don't know if I'm ready for that, Tony. Is that the book value thing?
Really? I'll be right back. I'm going to let you reconsider your answer. All right, I'm back. Is he still here?
I'm here.
We don't have to get all serious, but I was just wondering, like, if you're looking at a company just casual, all right, if you're looking at a company like GameStop that has no earnings, but they've got $4 billion on the balance sheet, and you're just thinking like back of the envelope, would you start your analysis going to, if you were going to pitch this company to like a retirement system, like you need to invest in GameStop, they're trading at 3 times book. Is that where you would start your analysis? Do you know what I'm saying? Am I making sense here? Or would there be some other ratios or indicators that you might want to analyze before you take it to the retirement system and suggest that they FOMO into GameStop? Hello? Am I speaking to anybody? Mediocre, can you hear me? Are we still live?
Tony, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you guys. I was
Tony.
walking the dog. I apologize.
Y'all are scaring me.
You know me. I look at the balance sheet first, right? I look at
Yeah.
the ratios of the liquidity, and that's my sniff test.
Yeah.
And then after, I looked at the P&L, the earnings.
We look at the balance sheet to see if it's a financially stable company, right?
Stable.
Right.
It's about the liquidity,
But then when we go to try and figure out a valuation,
the performance, right?
when we look at economic performance, you don't just start with the balance sheet and stop there.
Not me, Tony. I just shake the 8-ball, and when it doesn't tell me what I want, I shake it again. You know? That's not what you do?
That's what Roaring Kitty did. I know. I saw the video.
I love it.
He was joking. That was fucking a comedy bit. So, yeah, tell me about a couple of revenue or earnings based ratios that you might consider looking at if you were going to do a real thorough financial review or a fair value assessment of a company like GameStop. I feel like he must be out in the boonies. Are you on a boat in the Everglades of Florida or what, Sufjan?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. All right, we're moving on.
let's go.
To me, still be like one of the strongest cases for what that upside could look like. Plus, he's Ryan Cohen, which helps, right? Just who the author of it was. Who
What's
said
up,
it.
Julie?
That impacts my thinking too. But I think that's story type
Hope
stuff.
you and Clark
so
are doing good.
I think it's good to have an activist investor, one who's a large shareholder. Say you should got to be doing this, got to be doing that, like trying to push them
Oh,
in the
see
right
that,
direction. Now, it
Tony?
could be it's still not.
What did he say?
Going in the
He's talking about an activist investor. Now he's one himself.
Yeah, Ryan was at talking here. Ryan was still an activist investor.
wrong direction. But at the very least, I feel strongly that they could be telling a stronger, a better, a more compelling story.
Mike says Mike loves cats. Says he's down 88% on his AMC, holding 3 years, waiting for refinery build for Highcroft. I love your info, straight stuff. Mike, please go watch my new playlist, which we just started on the wheel strategy. I would recommend that to you. And I'd recommend, if you haven't watched my Highcroft videos, watch it. I had somebody DMing me on Twitter today saying, so-and-so was talking bullish about Highcroft. I get the desire to talk bullish about Highcroft. I don't own any. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you two things. 2 truths and a lie about Highcroft. Well, I don't know if I can come up with a lie about it, but here's what I know. 2 truths. I feel like they are going to dilute the other.
Ask the audience to question, Tony.
Do you think that Highcroft is going to dilute?
But that wasn't the question you're supposed to ask them.
What's the question? Is
question-
Highcroft going to the moon?
How is Highcroft going to raise money?
Oh, how's Highcroft going to get $1 billion to build their milling plant?
Or they said they wanted to
Fix the balance sheet.
hire somebody, right?
They said they wanted to acquire somebody. That was new news in the last week. And they've also told us, both in Diane Garrett's speeches and the 10 Qs, that they want to fix the balance sheet. You guys have heard those words before, right? AMC. I just am looking at it unemotional, and I want to be as blunt as I can so you guys don't get surprised. And I hope I'm wrong, but all I'm hearing is dilution, dilution, dilution. How do you acquire somebody with no cash? How do you fix the balance sheet with no cash? How do you build a milling plant that's going to run up to $1 billion with no cash? You dilute or you take on debt. Neither one's going to be great if I'm holding Highcroft. So I wish you luck. I don't hate Highcroft. I want it to succeed because
Absolutely, because AMC owns it.
it helps AMC, but I'm just being brutally logical about my analysis of it. And I'm not seeing a great story stacking up, but I see a great story where I could go in after dilution and buy the dip. And y'all are going to fucking hate me because after a 10-for-1 reverse split and 500 million of dilution and the price gets obliterated, then I'm going to buy it. And now you're down 99%. If I'm right, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But tell me how they pay for any of that stuff. That's all I'm saying. Tell me. I'm willing to listen. Diane Garrett, tell us how you're going to pay for anything. Anya says, does Highcroft have the money to acquire someone? They do not, Anya. But she just talked about it in the fireside chat, and my jaw hit the floor. She's like, we're thinking about acquiring somebody to improve our cash flow. I'm like, how are you going to acquire somebody? Where's the money going to come from for that? Because I know you got to build a milling plant, and you don't even have enough money for that. So the fuck? Safety awards don't pay the bills. Oh my gosh. That is brutal, Anya, but true. Guys, I want Highcroft to succeed, but I am way more concerned about dilution with Highcroft than I am with AMC. That is just the honest truth. I think that they have a lot of resources under the ground. I think that they can probably create a plan where they pull those resources out of the ground starting in about 2027. Are you prepared to wait that long? They're not even going to have the pre-feasibility study now published until 2025. That's what she told us this week. Then you got to build a milling plant, pull permits, bring in. Do you know how long it takes to build a milling plant? Figure 2 years. 2027. You're going to be dealing with this company in the shitter for 3 more years. I'm not saying that because I hate it. I'm just telling you what they said in a way that is factual, not hopium based. It could still be a profitable mine. If it is a profitable mine, I'd like to buy it as cheap as possible. And for me, that is not right now. And I could be wrong.
What's the trading at, Tony, right now?
A couple bucks.
So my question is
$2.75.
How's it going to stay on the New York Stock Exchange?
Well, I mean, if they do a dilution to raise the kind of money they need, they're going to probably need to do a reverse split. Would be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you raise $1 billion at 275.
I'll step aside and wait.
All right.
I don't hate them.
I don't hate them. I want.
The short interest is a manifestation of their failure to at least tell a better story, even though I think they've been executing. But and again, in this case, the short interest is a proxy for just the prevailing sentiment that many of us are seeing out there, and I just think it's crazy that it's December 2020 and that they like haven't closed a meaningful. This is my opinion, that they haven't closed a larger percentage of it, and that sentiment is still what it is out there. And people, and you got Jim Cramer talking about Blockbuster. I think that ain't right because there should have been a better story out there already. So yeah, I think that Cohen can could have a hand.
Good night, Robert.
Now, management.
Thank you.
Me, don't rule out management. I'm not. This isn't me throwing in the towel on management. I think, but the conference call, I feel like they could have talked up stuff more. Maybe they had a reason to not do it. I've said that a number of times, but now I'm like, I have to discount that because now it's December. But what if they announce? What if they announce a major partnership next week? You know what I mean?
Sufjan
Like,
left mediocre. Our CPA, he's like, fuck this. I didn't come here to talk CPA shit.
Yeah, I know.
I thought something would have been more stuff in the works a while back. But let's see if people's opinions of management change next week if they announce some major partnership on utilizing their advertising platform. You know what I mean? Or a partnership with Sony or Nintendo or anything like that. Just watch people turn on a dime on their viewpoints of management. You know what I mean? Like it's you often see people's opinions on whatever dictated by price action, short-term price action of that, which is really risky. It's risky to do that because you may subscribe to the wrong story. I think people are almost being. My opinion is that people are maybe critiquing management too much based on that conference call. I'm not saying they hit it out of the park. I don't think that, but they did feel short on that storytelling type stuff. We know they didn't address Cohen. There's still been no major announcement. Maybe it's because there is none, right? I mean, there's a risk.
Did he say cheers, cheers, cheers?
Doesn't mean they couldn't announce it next week or the week after and take everyone by surprise.
Yeah, he did.
But in the meantime, I form my opinions based on what I've seen, based on what I've heard.
I need verification.
He did.
They announced some major partnership on utilizing their advertising platform. You know what I mean? Or a partnership with Sony or Nintendo or anything like that. Just watch people turn on a dime on their viewpoints of management. You know what I mean? Like it's you often see people's opinions on whatever dictated by price action, short-term price action of that, which is really risky. It's risky to do that because you may subscribe to the wrong story. I think people are almost being. My opinion is that people are maybe critiquing management too much based on that conference call. I'm not saying they hit it out of the park. I don't think that, but they did feel short on that storytelling type stuff. We know they didn't address.
Are you pulling my leg?
There's still been no major announcement, and maybe it's because there is none. Right? I mean, there's a risk of that. But I just think doesn't mean they couldn't announce it next week or the week after and take everyone by surprise. But in the meantime, I form my opinions based on what I've seen, based on what I've heard, and I just think,
Stockland. Yeah, I don't remember the exact percentage, but AMC is the largest shareholder, as far as I know. Let me check on the other screen here.
Uber. It's so much cheaper to buy versus build. Boom, that's it. Uber's two lines right there. That's such a big part of the Ryan Cohen angle right there. That people don't, as Uber knows, folks aren't buying into that. They still think we're crazy, Uber, as I know you know. They Oh, that's the end of it. So yeah, cheers. One final cheers to the Owl Gang out there. Welcome everybody.
That was 2 cheers, mediocre. It says on their website, AMC owns
I still have
10%.
like high confidence that that's a
Retail
potential
owns
reality, whereas people are like, no,
73%.
that's crazy. There's no way. And I just think, Yeah, Uber was talking about that tone in the tenor of the call. What I'd say was, and I bet Uber would agree with it, it's kind of like it's been the same. If we were thinking, and I did think this, I definitely said this on one of the streams, I was thinking Cohen's letter might cause them to
I don't
talk
know
about
if
stuff more.
10%
Not really.
includes
I'd say that
the
conference,
warrants.
I didn't think it was worse than previous conference calls. I thought it was right in line with all the other conference calls, which is disappointing. When I thought, the consoles are out, people are sleeping outside your stores, you got an active investor shitting on you. Here's an opportunity that if you had stuff to talk up, you could do it here.
We got done.
And they didn't. Maybe they didn't have stuff to talk
What's
up.
that?
It didn't happen. I thought.
He said, "What percentage of this video do we got done?"
I don't know, but he hasn't even really got to the earnings yet. Can we scroll forward and see if he gets to earnings? Like, how do you do a video titled GME reports Q3 earnings and not go through the 10Q?
I don't know, dude.
This is not what I was expecting. Here's this chart again. Remember, he loves this one, mediocre.
That's his favorite right there.
Let's see what do we got here. Insider trading. Charts. Here's this shit again. The letter. I mean, I'm a little disappointed, mediocre, that he's not going through the 10Q.
Yeah.
But let's just finish out this beer that we're on, and then we can call it a night. We don't need to listen to 5 hours of this same stuff. This is very similar to what he's talked about before. So it's a good data point check. He's still calm, cool, and collected, even though the stock has dropped from 19 to 13. And our next video that I have picked out for you guys is going to be around the end of December. And then we get into the fun stuff in 8, 9, and 10 with the January run up. And I don't know. I don't know if 8, 9, and 10 will take us all the way through the second squeeze or not. But we'll see. We'll see. If it's got to be more than 10 segments to do this segment justice, we'll do more than 10 segments. But I'm trying to check in about once a month or on key dates. And I see here at the top of the screen, he's talking about Q3 earnings, e-commerce up 257%. The ATM shelf. He hasn't even talked about half this stuff in his video title, and we're an hour into the video.
Yeah.
I like when they drop earnings, I try and go through the 10Q and knock it out in 10 minutes. This is interesting. Interesting.
And Anya, yes, he does have a serious invite if he's interested in coming onto the show.
Roaring Kitty?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's welcome here anytime. Robert says, Robert didn't say anything. He joined as a member of the channel. Robert, thank you. Link up your Discord to your YouTube channel, Robert. You have free access to the Discord now as a member of the channel. I appreciate you supporting the channel and the work that we do here. Discord is free to any members of the channel, but you need to link it up. Link up your Discord to your YouTube name. They will sync up, and then send me a DM. Send me a DM. We'll schedule a 5-minute chat just so I can make sure you're a real person, and go over some basic rules, and you'll have full access to everything. Anya says, have I seriously invited him? I haven't reached out to him, Anya Kitty. I'm sure he's swamped with invites, and I don't like being that little fanboy, trying to invite important people to talk on my channel. But if he's watching and he ever wants to come on, I'd love to have him on.
Absolutely.
It should have been done in March, April. I agree. So it should have been it should have been done as soon as they come on, right? You can't do that necessarily, and there's this hoops maybe you got to jump through, you got to wait for certain stuff. It should have been done already. That's number one. Is the timing of it. I didn't love the timing.
What did he stream all day?
Wait, ooh,
Back
we talked
then,
about the
Tony?
signatures again. They didn't all have to sign. They didn't.
Let's see what day this
don't
was.
know
This
how
was
to
December
I don't know
11th,
so much that that's an indication of anything.
2020. I'm guessing it was a Friday,
but
mediocre. Let's see.
It's in their best interest to roll with shit too, right? So it could be that they didn't think that they were going to need it 6 months ago at all, and now they've reassessed, and maybe they saw Cohen getting.
He's probably doing a Friday night live
big
stream like
partnership
we
or
do.
Thing that they were going to announce, and they've seen how the stock price
Yeah,
reacted
it was
to
a
the
Friday
Microsoft news, and
night,
they think, let's
5
be
hours,
opportunistic
but
about this.
I ain't about that 5-hour live stream
do it
shit.
on the upside. On the downside, it could be Uber that they kind of saw that
Too
closures
much
were starting
for
to
me,
heat up
man.
again. November maybe wasn't as strong as they were, or maybe the early on the downside, maybe the early.
Trying to enjoy
weeks
some of
weren't
my
as strong as they
earnings,
were
you know
hoping,
what
so
I'm
they're
saying?
like, let's get a little
Cheers.
bit of cushion just in case.
Cheers to
Maybe they
earnings
have
this
some debt
week.
coming due. You know what I
Do you
mean?
want to
So
do you want to take a
they
break
gotta
for a
be
second
rolling
and
with
talk
stuff,
about like
too.
what your best trades were this week? Does anybody care? Do y'all want to hear what we traded this week? I actually traded a lot. I bought some new stuff. I added to positions today. I had some options trades I tried to make that I couldn't get a fill on. I had some that I did get a fill on.
Anya wants to ask about HE, Tony.
HE, Anya, HE, what was the low on HE today? Mediocre, 939?
Yep, 938.
938. So HE is one of our gambling zero or hero plays. This is not a stock we're recommending to you guys. But it's a stock that, excuse me, beer. It's a stock that some of us are messing around with as a zero or hero. We're either going to go to zero on this play or we're going to double or triple our money. Would you say that's fair, mediocre?
Yeah. Well,
But
Anya, I could tell you.
In the meantime, we're looking for cheap entries to sell covered calls. So go ahead, mediocre.
Anya, I could tell you. She says she's in the HE at 13. And it bounced up off of 938 pretty good. It got above 950. It closed above 950. I think it was in the 971 range or something like that when it closed today.
I bought HE today at 9 and change, and Anya 13 is my sell point.
I couldn't believe they allowed me, you guys. I cannot believe that they allowed me to sell puts at the $9.50 strike and paid me 11 cents. Can you believe that, Tony?
That's just pennies, mediocre.
For one day, bro. I love it.
11 cents for one day. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Multiply that times 100, guys. That's $11. And then multiply that by mediocre trades pretty heavy. So it wasn't $11 times one contract. I can promise you that. if you know what I mean. Let's just say if he did 1,000 contracts, what's that, mediocre? $1,100 in a day.
Yep.
$1,100 in one day with the wheel strategy.
Yep.
Please go watch my new wheel strategy playlist. We're going to start talking about this. And I want to do weekly wheel wrap ups where we talk about successes, because I just feel like there's so many of y'all that are missing out on the opportunity to make money because you just don't even know this stuff exists, or you've been conditioned by other people in social media not to think about options. And it doesn't have to be an option on a meme stock. We're looking for stocks every day to run the wheel on. Every week we're looking for stocks to run the wheel on. And we've been waiting for HE to get below $10 for a while.
I kind of wish I didn't sell the puts and I bought it at the open market and just held it, but I didn't.
So mediocre, I did not get I tried to be greedy and get a little bit better fill on a cash secured put than you did. And of course, right when we were watching it, you got in on a good entry and it started running up. And I didn't get my fill because I was being greedy for another 2 pennies.
Yeah,
So I ended up buying the stock at about the same price you got it.
that's
And
a
then
better.
I still did okay, mediocre. I sold covered calls on it.
Yeah, it worked out much better than what I did. I wish I had bought in the stock. I didn't, but I didn't lose money, Tony. I made money. That was extra money I wasn't counting on because my 450 puts for AMC were just sitting at a penny anyways. So they were just going to sit at a penny all day, right? So what did I lose? I bought that penny back, took the money, boom.
Stockland trades, yes, I agree with you. He says if they are not held liable for the fires in Lahaina, it will climb to $30 quickly. The market cap is well below book. This is by any analysis of a value stock, it's way undervalued. But it's undervalued because there's a lot of risk. If they lose the lawsuit, it doesn't matter how much assets they have on the balance sheet. They'll be wiped out. Their insurance won't cover it. So that's why I say don't trade this stock if you're not a degenerate. And even if you are a degenerate, manage your position size.
Yeah.
So I know that whatever I bought today, I could lose all of that money. I just want to be clear with y'all. And I'm okay with that. But I'm hoping just to momentum trade it and get lucky enough not to get wiped out. Maybe I'll get lucky. In the meantime, I'm going to make weekly money selling covered calls, lower my basis, generate income. Maybe I'll get lucky with a favorable lawsuit decision. Maybe I'll get lucky that the price runs up to 13 and I just sell. $9 buy-in, 13 get out, plus selling covered calls for weeks on end. That's not a bad deal. But it's heavy risk. Let's be real. There's safer plays out there, but
Absolutely.
the risk to reward thing, right? We're taking heavy risk owning it. Well, I am, but the reward, the payout, if I'm lucky and they don't get held liable, is a 2 or 3x on the share price. So don't ever say that I don't take gamble plays, because if you say that, you don't know me. Anya says, how can they be held liable when it was the act of nature? I mean, there's some conflicting reports, Anya, if some of their equipment sparked part of the fires or not. And that's going to be what the whole lawsuit's about. Broke Ape says, did anyone play Netflix today? Not me.
No, I didn't either. To be honest, I didn't even look at it, Tony.
I added to my position on IMAX. I got some at $14.99. It finished today at $15.40. I'm slowly building a position in IMAX for a play into 2025. It's a profitable theater company. I guess that's my hedge against AMC mediocre.
I like it.
I mean, IMAX, I think with the movies they have coming out, the fact that it's profitable, they have low fixed costs. They're just they're a cuckoo that goes in and lays their egg in other people's nests. Uh, I know the movie industry very well. And so taking a bet on one of the low fixed cost, high profit companies, if I can have a 12 to 24 month outlook, I'm just trying to add a little bit of IMAX. I bought another one I'm going to do a video for you guys on this weekend, the Monster Energy drink. I think I mentioned that in the Discord today. I'll do a video for you all that on that one this weekend. What is their ticker? I think it's
I don't remember.
MN. Let me go to my blue chip stocks. Where is it? I haven't done the video yet because I'm not completely done doing the DD, but it's MNFT. Mike November Sierra Tango. Almost no debt, $8 billion in shareholder equity, $1.5 billion in free cash flow. They just did a share buyback. The only negative is there were some recent insider sales, which I said we should not ignore. And they've been on an absolute tear on growth. They've been on an absolute rip-roaring tear on top-line growth and earnings growth. So you should ask yourself, is that going to slow down or can they continue? That's the DD I need to do for you guys before I make the video. I still went ahead and took a little gamble and bought some. Let's look at the chart real quick because it's on a down tick. That's why I bought it. Let's just look at this chart. Stop sharing that screen and let's share a different screen. All right, so the high was 61 in March. It's trading at $48. This is where I bought it today. And I didn't go in like load the boat on Monster. It could still go down more. But I think they're getting a little bit of overselling due to concern over insider sales, and maybe the top line revenue is getting a little bit frothy. But there's still a lot of analysts that have $60 price targets on this stock. If I can hold it into 1 or 2 good quarters, maybe 3 or 4, I'm okay with holding financially solid companies like this. If I gotta hold them for 2 years, I would challenge you to find something on their financials that's bad. Let's just put it
There
that
an
way.
options chain on them?
Yep, sure
Week-
is.
Weeklies?
No, monthlies.
Gotcha.
So this is what I like when I'm looking for. I say value plays, but what I'm really looking for is stocks that are getting beat up. This is a fucking beat up. 61 down to 48 in a couple months. And there's still analysts saying it's going to go to 60 or higher. There's not much I see negative in their financial statements. If I find something negative this weekend, I will tell you when I do the video. But even when I see solid financials, healthy cash flow, a healthy balance sheet, growing revenues, growing net income, when I see that, then that's when you hear buy the dip. Those are the type of companies you want to buy the dip on. If I convince myself over this weekend that no matter what happens, I'd be good buying it at 43, 35, then I'll keep adding to my position, even if it goes down for a few more weeks. Because what inevitably happens with these companies, they report a good quarter and they rocket back up. Not every time, but I mean, if I put in the right amount of work, then we have a pretty reasonable success rate over here. Robert says, do I have to create a Discord? If you want access to our Discord, you need to create a Discord profile. Yeah. That is a fact, Jack.
Yep.
What else did I buy today, Mediocre? I added... I tried to buy a little more Intel. My price didn't go through. I bought IMAX. What else did I buy?
NVIDIA ran like a son of a gun.
Oh, I bought some NVIDIA.
That's right.
I sold covered calls on my HE. I bought IMAX. Oh, I added to my SoFi. I really like SoFi at about $4.50 or $5, but I'm building a long-term position in SoFi. It's still a little bit early. I don't know if I'm ready to make a video about SoFi yet, but I'm nibbling at it. All right, it's 9:11. What time do we start, Mediocre?
Don't remember. 9 my time, maybe. No, 8. 2 hours ago.
I think it was 7 my time, 8 your time.
Yeah, 2 hours ago.
Do y'all want to hear more Roaring Kitty, or do you want to just throw some questions at us?
I gotta get some air moving in here.
You gotta what? Get some air moving?
Oh God, it's hot in here.
What happened to Daddy-O? I haven't heard him talk all night. Did he fall asleep in the chair next to you?
No, see, I got my chair back. He's gone. He went home.
Oh, he went home. Okay.
Yeah, that was part of the reason why I had to keep going away. He was happy. He came to hang out for a little bit. We're going to brunch on Sunday, so.
My dad does not live in my state, but you know, I envy you that you have yours close.
Yeah.
Brunch sounds good. Speaking of value stocks, besides, I don't know that I'd call Monster a value stock yet, but there are several other stocks that I'm doing DD on, and I did create today the value stock playlist. I created a playlist on my channel that's called value stocks and portfolio stocks. So things that I own. A lot of times I buy stuff and I don't make videos about it, or I don't talk about them all the time. Everybody thinks I only own one stock. I don't know why. Just because my content might be focused on one stock because there's just so much misinformation out there. I own a bunch of stocks. And I would love to just do videos on everything else, but there's not a lot of misinformation on the other stocks. And all the misinformation kind of pisses me off on AMC and Gamestop. So I get sucked in just when I think I was just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Julie says, should we buy Tesla? Every day, Julie, I think about buying Tesla. I looked at it again today. I'm on the fence. Every day I think about buying it. I looked at the chart today and I said no. Could I change my mind on Monday? I could. I've traded Tesla, as you know, several times over the last couple of years, both in buy cheap and sell in the rips. I've traded call options on Tesla. I've traded put options on Tesla. I've traded not day trades, but buying shares for a week. I don't know that I'm ready to say let's go all in on a long term on Tesla yet. Just in good faith, I don't know that I could say that. I wish I could. I wish I could. There's a great audience out there for Tesla content, but I got to be genuine in my belief. And I don't know if I'm all the way there yet. Anya says, when you do your next SoFi video, have May on it. She is bullish on SoFi, isn't she, Anya? I did talk to her about a month ago about doing a SoFi video, and she said she'd be happy to, so I'll see if I can make that happen, Anya. I just haven't had time to do the deep dive refresh I need to on SoFi for me to do a video on it. Maybe I just need to pull her in and have her catch us up on everything she knows. So many tickers, so little time. Not Money Advice says, has anyone confirmed who Toys R Us merged with? I haven't looked at their filings. I've seen speculation on Twitter, but not from reliable sources. So I don't know. I mean, was there 8K that they merged with someone? If there was, they would have been obligated to announce it. Right?
Yep.
Right? You know that, right? If they merged, they have an obligation to announce it, to disclose it. It's required. So when I see people speculating on stuff on social media because of what they want to happen, but they don't provide any source data, I just got to say, there go the kids again. There they go. Stockland Trade says, why would someone buy AMD, which is a distant second to NVIDIA at 160? I think because some people think that NVIDIA is overpriced, and I need to check if I own AMD. Hang on one second. Before I answer that question, let me see if I own any. Logging into my account on my phone. Why would someone buy an AMD? Oh, surprise, I own it. I do own AMD. What do you know?
You own AMD?
Yeah. Why would someone, and I own Intel too, by the way. Why would someone buy Intel and AMD? It's a good question. You're going to see more content from me on these other tickers like AMD and Intel because why? Where is NVIDIA's manufacturing at? Let me just ask you in the chat. Do you know where they manufacture at? I'm not going to answer it. I want you guys to answer. I did buy some NVIDIA today just on a gamble play on a continued run up after the stock split. But I think it's overvalued. Potentially. But if they keep booking the numbers, that price could go up. So I'm going to ride the wave. SH says they manufacture in Texas. Is that true? Let me check the Google. Now, I know executives at NVIDIA. Just so we're on the same page here. Where does NVIDIA make their chips? Google. Yes, Muner knows the answer. Taiwan.
I didn't want to give it away, Tony.
I know. NVIDIA and AMD both rely heavily on Taiwan Semiconductor. So I'm just going to ask you guys to think out of the box for a second. Do you think, here's my long-term crazy theory about NVIDIA and to a certain extent AMD and why you're going to see more content from me about Intel. Do you think there's any risk of China taking over Taiwan in the next 5 years? Any risk at all? Do you know that Intel's building manufacturing in the United States? If shit were to go down with China and Taiwan, who do you think is going to be the beneficiary a couple of years from now? My money's on Intel. Is it a slam dunk play right now? People are going to make fun of me right now. But if I'm right, if China makes a move on Taiwan, who's going to be the long-term winner here?
Hopefully me, Tony.
I'm starting a slow and steady accumulation on Intel. That's all I'm going to say. But I'm not going to discount Nvidia for the momentum play it is right now. They've got the ball and they're running down the field headed for another touchdown. I know there's a lot of Nvidia haters. Hey, don't hate the momentum. Ride the momentum. Ride the wave, right, mediocre?
That's right.
When
Watching.
when the wave changes, get the fuck out. Don't fall in love with the stock.
No. Don't mind me. I'm watching. I got a storm going on outside. It's pretty.
I can hear the rain.
Can you? Yeah. It was muggy, and the weather just changed in about 10 minutes. That happened.
It sounds like a big storm. It sounds like a Texas-sized storm.
I got some trees out there that I'm worried about. We'll see what happens.
SH says only if Biden remains president. God, man, I've seen some videos of that dude on social media in the past couple days. He looked like he's zoned out, mediocre. Like some dude landed with a parachute and a flag right in front of him, and he's like, the guy landed with the parachute over here, and Biden's like,
Oh God.
I need to get on Rumble on Saturday night, have a few shots of tequila, and talk politics. We can't do it on YouTube.
No.
It cracks
You hear
me.
that, Tony?
It cracks me up when people think they assume they know my politics. Well, he must be a Democrat because he lives in Texas. Surprise, motherfuckers.
What's up with the Mandalorian, buddy?
I have texted him. He's texted me. We keep on doing the he's working some job in the evening. I don't know what it is. I'm going to guess bartender, nighttime job. I don't know. I've told him to call me. He said he's going to call me, and we're gonna all hook up and get on a live stream. I think the last time I talked to him a month ago, I think he said he's off Sunday and Monday nights. Sounds like
What's up on live stream?
Still sounds like a bartender job, right? Off Sunday and Monday nights.
Yeah.
How are we doing, YouTube? What's up?
Who dat? Is that Junior?
Yes, it is.
What's up? That's the
How are
little
you, Tony?
That's the little mediocre. I'm doing good.
Yes, sir.
Are you buying some stocks?
Yeah, I am.
Are you doing some wheel trading too?
Yes.
Oh, what a chip off the old block. Chip off the old block.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad he's teaching you well. I asked my son when I talked to him last week, I said, do you have anything in your account right now? He's like, no, not right now. I'm a little bit too busy with school, Dad. Yeah. All right.
Every Monday morning, I'm on these guys. Let's go. We need to talk. What we're going to do, we talk all weekend about it. Yes, that. Well, you're around, so.
Not Money Advice says, is he a dancer? I don't think he's a dancer, but I know he's had a bartender job before. So that's why I'm just guessing. He was applying for other jobs, not a bartender. Last time I talked to him 2 months ago. And I've really only talked to him twice in the last 2 months. So, Johnny?
Yeah, let's go.
Call mediocre, call me, let's do a live stream, hang out, have a beer.
I got you in the phone here. I just, I don't want to feel like I'm bugging you. That's all.
If I call someone and they don't answer mediocre, I'm not calling back. You saw that I called.
Yeah.
Now it's on you. SMCI, is it a good one? It's not one I looked at enough to know. Let's pull it up here real quick. SMCI. and maybe we can pull up the financials. I've had people definitely in my Discord saying, Tony, you need to start talking about SMCI. That was 2 years ago. I bet they've just been on fire. Look at this, mediocre.
That's a nice run. It's a nice run.
226 to 1200. What the fucking fuck? This was about the time that someone told me, Tony, you should look at this stock. The fuck?
I know.
How do I miss shit like this?
844, is that what it says? God. I wouldn't have held it that long anyway, Tony. I gotta be honest with you.
I know.
Oh shit.
I mean, you can't argue with a chart like that, but I would need to crawl through their financials. I think I did start doing it a couple weeks ago. Are they the ones that own all the Bitcoin?
No, my problem is, Tony, I'm gonna tell you. You wanna hear it? I'm a paper-handed little bitch. That's what the problem is.
You're not paper-handed. You're risk averse. You like to take profits and get it, locked in.
I'm just telling you what others would think of me.
Anya says, hello, Junior, if you can still hear us.
Oh, he's gone already. He came down because he seen the storm. He's like, oh, my dog is right at my feet. She is.
Audio Plug says, how do you avoid getting blown out when you get into puts?
1 minute.
All right, so let's talk about the different type of puts real quick, and we'll let Mediocre jump in here too. You can buy puts or you can sell puts, right? Typically, I'm selling puts, which is the lower risk of the two. Your safest play always, guys, is to sell puts and sell calls because you're collecting money. And if you're selecting your strike correctly, you're not going to get blown out. You're just going to collect fucking money. You're becoming Wall Street. My track record with buying puts is not that great. Sometimes I think that a stock is going to, capitulate and crash down, and it doesn't. Or even if it does capitulate down, the IV was so high when I bought in that I barely make any money, or I make no money.
It just doesn't work. It happens a lot.
You want to be a seller of puts. It's very hard to lose that way. But let me know if I misunderstood your question or if you have a follow-up. You could very easily get blown out most of the time buying puts. Selling puts, it's really hard to lose, to be honest, which is why we're starting up the wheel trading strategy playlist here on the channel.
Here comes the thunder, Tony.
Audio Plug, you got a follow-up for us, amigo? Mediocre, do you ever buy puts?
I do, but I have a specific strategy that I run when I do. It's very complicated for me to explain it. But it's exactly what you said. You cannot hold, even if you buy a long call, right? In my opinion, I don't like to hold them because they just eat you up over time. Theta and IV just eat you up when you're buying either calls or puts. So I try not to get too involved in that unless I'm doing a specific move, and once the move slows, I'm done. You gotta pull out quickly. That's the difference in how I trade them. But
I'm just gonna say, like, the general advice would be if you're a seller of options, it's going to be really hard to go wrong.
Exactly. But if
If
you're
you're
a
a
buyer,
buyer, if you're a buyer, you're basically gambling, and you better have some damn good information or insight, or be
uh,
really, really lucky. And that is me talking from being an options trader since the 1990s. Kim says, "What are paper hands?" I don't know. I get called paper hand a lot because I take profits. Carlos, what's up? Paper hands is an insult people use to hate on those of us that are taking profits. I don't care if someone calls me a paper hand. Am I always selling in the money, never out? No, I'm always selling out of the money. So if I'm selling a put, like if AMC was trading at what, $5 today? It closed at, I'm pulling up the chart here. It closed at $4.99. I tried to sell 450 puts today on AMC for next Friday. I did not, my strike price, I had a certain limit price I had set. I was being greedy. It didn't hit, so I didn't get a fill.
we got a definition here. Tony should put up on the screen.
Yeah. Hang on. Trying to pull it up. Paper hand definition. I tried to sell puts on AMC at 450 today with a 450 strike, and they didn't fill. So it's getting low enough now where I feel a little more comfortable selling puts. I'd prefer to buy AMC at 350 or 4, but I'll sell puts maybe next week at 4 or 450. I want to be selling puts below the current price, and I want my strike price on my put to be at a price that I'm willing to buy the stock.
Cruisemo, that's a ruthless definition, I gotta tell you.
So if I sold 450s today, that means if it went under 450 by next Friday, I'm okay with buying it at 450 because I would let it exercise. But
You'd get assigned?
I would let it get assigned, but there's been a lot of y'all that I talked to and in the Discord. I have not been selling puts for the last 4 weeks, and a lot of y'all have, and I've been watching all of y'all make a lot of money. You fuckers.
Listen,
but why
speaking of that, Tony,
why didn't I sell puts, mediocre? Why did you sell puts and why did I not?
All right, so you didn't sell puts because you think the stock possibly going to go lower.
I think it's going to go precipitously lower quickly.
Mm-hmm. And it's overvalued at the moment. So I'm looking for an entry, but I want a good entry, right? So I started off the week selling fives, you guys, $5 puts. I was gonna take the shares at 5, and then I'm doing more research during the week, and I'm like, nah, I can't do it. So what did I do on that major run up we had this week in AMC? It ran up pretty good. I think it went to 530 or whatever. I bought my contracts back because when that happens, what happens to my premium? It drops because the price is running up. So it makes it cheaper for me to buy them back and make.
So you sell them at like 11 or 15 and buy them back at 2 or 3?
Exactly. So I bought them back, and then I waited for it to come back, and then I said, you know what? I'm not done trading for the week. Maybe it'll get pushed down below 5. Maybe I'll sell the 450. If it goes in at 450, I'll take the shares. I don't care. So I ended up with 450s. But then this morning, when the 450s were trading at a penny, and I was just going to sit here and wait for the rest of the day and be done, I looked at HE, and HE gave me an opportunity. 11 cents or 1 penny. No brainer.
I've just been a little paranoid, mediocre, that the AMC is going to dilute. I talked about this on some videos. I'm a little
surprised
bit,
he didn't announce today.
huh?
I'm kind of surprised he didn't announce it today.
Yeah, I'm worried about Q2 box office, and I'm maybe more paranoid than most, more worried, more risk averse. The AMC is going to announce a debt for equity swap or a dilution, and the price is going to drop to $350. That's why I've not been selling puts at $450 or $5. The price is being propped up because of the GameStop FOMO momentum. I don't think it's really should be trading at $5 right now, considering the quarter that we're in. Maybe next quarter, when we have better box office, $5 is justifiable. But the higher it goes, the higher the price goes, the more worried I will get about more dilution. So I'm trying to be patient, and I have no problem buying AMC stock. I'm going to be that asshole that wants to get it at the fucking bottom.
Yeah, here's the thing, you guys. I want the stock, don't get me wrong, right? But I don't want to overpay for it. And what do I care? I'm making money every week by selling puts. Somebody obviously thinks it's going down. They're buying the puts. I'm selling them. You know?
If it trades flat, you're making bank.
That's
and
right.
I've been wrong for 4 weeks now, at least 3, and it's fucking pissing me off. Sitting out like I should have sold puts. It didn't go down.
But you've made money on GameStop where I didn't. I was in AMC, you know?
Yeah, well, and I made money on the AMC run up too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I'm sitting as a brokey over here. I'm doing okay, but it is frustrating when you think something's going to happen and it doesn't, and you should have made a trade and you didn't.
It's like Gus selling $5 calls. I'm selling $5 puts. You know, we're butting heads. He wants it to close a certain way. I want it to close a certain way. It's kind of funny, you know.
Wired Ape, what's up, buddy? He says the stock value with no cash burn sits at above 450. I'm going to put this up on the screen. I think that there's going to be a cash burn. I'll update you guys every Monday evening or Tuesday with my estimate on cash burn. But right now I have it pegged at about 250 million for Q2 minimum. And I hope that I can tell you that number gets better.
Tony Anya says you have dilution paranoia again.
I do have dilution paranoia, but it served me well in March. I hope I can tell y'all that the cash burn is going to get better. Just fuck all of y'all. Go see some movies, buy some fucking pizza and popcorn. I'm going to do my part. We've got about 5 or 6 more movies to see before the end of the month. I'm doing my part. I'm doing what I can with my discretionary entertainment budget, supporting this fucking company more so than most people on social media that I see, other than Mehul, hashtag Adam Aaron's biggest fan. Nobody can compete with that guy on Twitter. I spend a lot of money at AMC. I like movies. That's no secret. But I don't own any AMC stock right now because I think that they're going to dilute, and I think I can get it cheaper. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's cool. I'll buy it at $5.
That's the thing. I don't understand why people get upset, Tony. Like, I'm gonna buy the stock.
I'm going to buy the stock too. I just am trying to be patient for a few weeks. Don't give me. I've fucking owned this stock every day for the last three or 4 years. Give me a couple weeks to be patient and get a good entry. And if I'm wrong, I'm happy to go in at $5. I don't think that we're not in like imminent mediocre. We're not in like imminent risk of the stock running up to a fair value of $8. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. We could keep selling puts or whatever. It's not an issue.
We might have a FOMO run up to $8, $9, $10, $12. That's why I buy long calls. That's my insurance to not miss out on the run up. But like to get a big position in shares, I want to make sure I'm getting the absolute lowest entry possible. Wired says the debt for equity swaps and added capital raised the share price to 480, and the cash burn. What does he say here? The cash is priced in for Q2. My concern is Wired knowing. I don't know. Did you watch our video on the debt restructuring, our live stream with May and Sparky? I think that they're going to. They're heavily incentivized to pay down some of that debt. The 2026 10-12 pick toggle subordinated notes. Adam Aaron said in the annual meeting, we have no immediate plans for ATM, but we're actively looking at restructuring the debt with debt for equity swaps. I listened to it 3 times. It's about the 38 or 40 minute mark. He's telling you what he's going to do.
Exactly.
That's all I can say. He's telling you what he's going to do. That is what is driving my paranoia. They're waiting for a run up. I'd look for all of y'all holding right now. I'd love to see the stock run up to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, and then they announce a swap. But if it doesn't run up and they feel like they're forced to do it here, then I think I get to buy in at 350.
And here is much higher than it was last time when he did an ATM offering.
I don't have all the answers. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just weighing probabilities.
Not the last time he diluted, because the last time he diluted, he did a debt for equity swap. But the time before that was an at the money offering, and it was less than $5 when that started. So that's my thought. I'm just being safe.
At any rate, I will be a shareholder right along with you guys in relatively short order. When we get into Q3, I'll if they haven't diluted by then, I'll start feeling a little more comfortable. I want to support this company. I want to see them succeed. I think the box office is going to get better. I'm not bearish on the company. I'm just trying to be smart about my trading. I hope you can respect that.
That's right. But I'll sell all the bears. This is what you guys need to look at, okay? What I'm doing is I'm selling all the bears, all the people who want the stock to fall. I'm selling them their puts.
Mediocre has a different outlook than me. You own shares right now, Mediocre, right?
No, I don't. I'm in cash because I didn't get a.
Oh, you're just selling puts. Okay. And we have other people in the Discord that own shares and are selling puts or calls.
Yeah.
We're all over the map. Like there's no one playbook we have. Everybody's got a different take on things. I don't want y'all to think that we have one strategy and everybody's rowing the same direction. We all have different outlooks, but we still chat and talk, and we're going to find out. We're going to find out over time who's right. I might not be right, and that's cool.
The main point I was trying to drive home about the selling of puts, Tony, is because I'm not the one that's bearish. The person who's buying the put is one who's bearish.
Yep, you're right. You're exactly right. And you're taking their money.
Exactly. I'm selling them useless things, guys. I'm taking the shorts money, whatever you want to call them, the shorts, the whatever, the people who want the stock to fall.
You're selling to willing buyers at the current fair market price.
I love that, dude. That's my favorite.
All right. Any other questions, comments? Wired says, from my charts, my bear case is 450, which means we broke down on the daily, or 6 to 7 if we break up. I think that's very reasonable, Wired, if they don't dilute again. Very reasonable. What chart? Oh, we have SMCI up here. Ooh, look at that. I love that we're back in this range where we were before the last dilution. I mean, that kind of quick snapback, especially in light of the poor Q2 that we're in, and that Cinemark and IMAX have been getting beaten up, for AMC to be generally trading up here. This is beautiful. I don't even understand what's going on. I'm just going to tell you, I don't understand it. And the fact that I don't understand it is what's giving me pause. And I know, Wired, you have your understanding of it, and that I hope you're right for everybody's sake. I'm assigning right now about an 80% probability of upcoming dilution. I know that sucks for anybody to say that, but that's how I feel at the moment. I could change my mind in 3 weeks. Once we get to the point of Wolverine and Deadpool, if the cash flow is starting to improve, if I can do an updated cash flow analysis, then if I change my mind, I'll tell y'all. I want to change my mind. I want to see the box office beat every expectation that I have. I've already mapped out every movie for the rest of this year. I would love to be wrong.
We just went over them again the other day.
We what?
We just went over all the movies again the other day.
Yeah, I had people questioning me on all of them, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I spent 2 days of analysis of every movie for the rest of this year. Are y'all doing that work? Stockland says, when is GME meeting? Monday at 11 or 11:30? What? What are you laughing at?
Anya says you are selling snake oil, mediocre.
He's selling to willing buyers at the current fair market price. That's my best Jeremy Irons impression.
That's one of my favorite little things we got in the Discord.
What else? What was the other saying?
I don't know. Let me look. Let me see.
Oh, sell it.
Sell it all today. You're selling something that you know has no value.
You're selling something that you know has no value.
Yeah, that's the one. You joined just to play it. I love it.
I
You're
fucking
selling something you know has no value. That's the one I love the most.
You're selling
It's
something
so
that
true.
you're selling something that you know has no value. Well, I would like to retort. We're selling to willing buyers at the current fair market price. So yeah, as we wrap up Q2 here, we've got Inside Out 2. We're getting off topic here of GameStop, but that's okay. We heard enough from Roaring Kitty. We got Inside Out 2. We've got Quiet Place Day 1. We've got Bad Boys Ride or Die. Is there another movie the end of this month? Horizon's not really going to do that good. If Inside Out 2 or Bad Boys Ride or Die exceeds my expectations, then we could the cash burn could be much lower than I'm expecting, and I honestly hope that's the case.
We're supposed to have Bullish Mike on. We were supposed to have Bullish Mike on for that.
And I haven't talked to Mike in a while. He hasn't even DM'd me or nothing. What's up, Mike? You don't like me anymore? He probably blocked me. Tony's not bullish enough. Block him. I'm going to see as many movies as I can in the next 2 weeks. Spend as much money as I can, and I hope everybody does the same. I think there's a lot of great movies. We'll just have to see if people support them. I hope they do. I'd love to see these movies beat all of my expectations for the next 2 weeks. And Q3, as I went through Q3, the numbers look pretty good. As I went through Q4, I actually upped my estimate for Q4, which is good. I love upping my estimates, and I hope that the actual numbers come in and even beat my own estimates, which I try and make conservative but realistic, not like pie in the sky. And hey, if we beat any of those, I'll be the first one making a video telling you guys that this is going to be a blowout quarter. I will be the first fucking one making that video. But until I see the numbers, I got to be responsible about it.
The storm finally died down, Tony. Thank God.
Tech We Love says Q2 is far below 2022 and 2023. I can't see AMC not raising capital. I'll be shocked if it doesn't happen. You're kind of in the same boat as me. Like I'm just trying to think like they're thinking, Tech. There's retail think and there's executive think, and they're not the same. And my paranoia is if I think like them, I'm thinking I need to raise some capital. 250 million cash burn is not something to sneeze at. When you're down to the wire, I mean, you don't want to go into next year with only $500 million on the balance sheet. When you got to do a debt restructuring, there's a lot of moving parts here to think about that they're having to weigh. And I'm not an expert in all of that stuff. I'm not an expert in debt restructuring. I'm not an expert in buying back debt. I'm trying to learn as quickly as I can. I'm talking to smart people that know way more than I do. And I'm not rejecting things that don't agree with what I want it to say. I'm trying to be willing to listen to people that are smarter than me. And all of this discussion has led me to think that the higher probability is more dilution is in the short term outlook. But I always hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, we can always catch a run, you guys. You got cash, you just buy the stock anytime.
Mediocre. Wired Ape says, even if Tony hated the stock, let's just stop you right there. I've never hated the stock. I've never hated AMC. I've never hated Adam Aaron. I always think that the management is doing the most responsible thing that they do. I get accused all the time of being paid by AMC because I try and explain to you guys why they're doing what they're doing. They're making smart business decisions. But I mean, the financials are the financials. I can't do anything about that. I don't hate the stock. I don't hate the company. I don't hate Adam Aaron. I understand their job. It is what it is. They're stuck in a bad spot. They're the victim of Hollywood putting out bullshit movies. And maybe that changes next year. And I hope it does. Anyone who accuses me of it's just so funny. It really is. Mediocre people say I hate AMC and they block me. But then I got people making videos saying I'm paid by AMC. Like, how do you reconcile these very different viewpoints?
Yeah. I don't know. I just try to ignore all the noise. You know what I mean?
I do too. I mean, I know my heart. I know what I tell you guys every day. I know I always try and just present the best information I can based on what I'm thinking, what I see. And do I always get it right? No. But I don't hate any stock. I don't hate any stock. The financials are the financials. The business decisions that are necessary are what they are, except for Mullen. That guy sucks. That guy's ripping you off. Other than Mullen, I don't even hate Mullen stock. You know, they're just ripping people off.
I don't really want to see any company fail, right? But it's got to be a good business that's going to be able to survive, right? And AMC, I think, has that. Just saying. I think it can turn around its bad fundamentals, its bad financials, and get to the right place. Okay, and as somebody who doesn't want to see them go under, I mean, you got to kind of stick with them and let them do what they're going to do. That's just my take of it. So I don't get involved in all the crazy shit that's out there. I don't care.
I honestly think, you know, this whole private equity wants to bankrupt AMC. I don't buy into all that bullshit. There's a lot of paranoid conspiracy people in the retail trading community. What I see from AMC management is they're doing everything they possibly can to avoid Chapter 11 they have been handed a shit sandwich of bad box office. There's only so much they can do. There's only so many levers to pull. They're doing the best they can with what they got, and we all should be going to movies, buying concessions. I do that. I don't even know how many thousands or tens of thousands of dollars I spent supporting this company, but I enjoy movies, so it's not onerous to me. It's not. I'd rather go watch a movie than go spend 5 hours at a bar on Friday night and waste $100 on a bar tab. They're doing the best they can with what they got, and we'll see next year if the box office is better. They get free cash flow positive and operating income positive. The game changes. It's not in our hands other than supporting the company. And all these dipshits that are saying boycott AMC, fuck all you guys. Fuck you. You hate everybody that's invested in this company. And sincerely, can I just say again, fuck you. Why do you want people to lose their money? Because you're bitter? No. That is not the right attitude. Even if I got out of this stock, like Matt Kors, I would not say that this management is derelict. They're doing the best they can. People that are saying they're derelict or whatever, they don't understand the actual financials.
And they don't want to learn.
They are just grifting off of sentiment of a certain percentage of the social media that wants to hate on a company. What would you do differently? If you hate on this company, tell me, what would you do differently? Nobody's ever been able to answer that.
Oh, they would not do anything until there's short squeeze, Tony. Don't you know that?
Yeah, the only answer I get is I'd let them go bankrupt if I could get a short squeeze. Just don't dilute us anymore. This is a capitalistic country where companies don't want to go bankrupt because they'll get sued. That is not going to happen. You guys need to wake the fuck up.
Because if they filed bankruptcy because they didn't dilute to protect the business itself, I'm suing. I'll tell you right now. And I know Tony would sue too.
I don't know if I'd sue, but I mean, I would support anybody that did. I mean, it would be a dereliction of duty not to take some action to try and prop up the balance sheet if you had the opportunity. Like, why would you not? At least they're not doing dumb shit like Bed Bath and Beyond did, which, you know, get into this, what do you call it? Where you take on debt and it just starts avalanching on itself. What the fuck? I'm 3 beers in, mediocre. I can't think of the word. You guys know the word. Help me out here. Where you take on debt.
Compounding. Compounding.
Not compounding. It's a different word. It's where you take on debt where the more you're just enabling these lenders to you sell them shares at a discount, and they give you cash, but they immediately flip those shares into the market, and then they ask you for more, and they flip more shares, and all of a sudden your Bed Bath and Beyond outstanding shares goes from 150 million to 700 million in 4 weeks.
Leverage.
Death spiral financing. That's the word I was looking for. AMC's not doing that bullshit. They're not doing death spiral financing. They're doing dilution. I get it. Dilution sucks. But they're doing the best they can with the shit sandwich they were handed. Wired Ape says, when rates change, how are you pricing in future profitability? Some of AMC's debt, the term loan specifically, is variable rate. And so that can change by 10 or 20 million. I don't remember the exact number. It can change by a considerable amount, the amount of money they're spending on interest, but not in a meaningful enough amount to save us. I'd love to see rates drop. That only helps AMC. Their interest expense on that term loan has only been going up since we got in this play as the rates went up. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Not Money Advice says, back in your day, pink pantied YouTuber gave you a list on what Adam Aaron did that caused AMC to lose profit and gain major debt and restructured AMC to be a junk company. I don't get dipshits on my show. Not Money Advice. First of all, the guy's a liar. He's a paranoid conspiracy theorist. He lies about me and mischaracterizes me all the time. And he doesn't understand finance. So if you're listening to him, that's I feel sorry for you. AMC in 2016 bought 3 competitors. And then in Q1 of 2019, ASC 842 accounting rule changes forced companies across the United States to add lease liabilities to the balance sheet as a debt, which made AMC's debt appear to go up. You can Google ASC 842. I think that is the correct reference. I did a video on it. AMC did what is called a roll-up strategy, which is where you acquire competitors, leverage debt to become the big player on the block. If you didn't like that they did that in 2016, you shouldn't have bought in 2020. You shouldn't have bought in 2021. If you're mad about that now, that's what we call retroactive DD. And I say you're a dipshit for not looking at the financials before you bought the stock and decided to hold it. Is that a fair statement? Like, why in 2022, 2023, 2024 are you going to complain about something? All that tells me you were a dumbass that couldn't read the financials before you bought a stock. All of that information was there. But you're mad after the fact because the company was not profitable and they had to, I mean, did you read any of the risk factors in a 10Q where they said you might get diluted because we're not profitable? Did you read any of that? But you want to blame them. Blame yourself for not learning how to read. Maybe. Yes, Wired Ape says Adam Aaron could have killed the company in 2021 if they wanted. All of these people that say the master plan of the company is to bankrupt itself. They literally could have done nothing and gone bankrupt 5 times by now. All we're seeing is the opposite. We're seeing them do everything possible not to go bankrupt. Could they still go bankrupt? Sure. If the box office does not improve in 2025 and 2026, they could go bankrupt. Sure. But in the meantime, they're doing everything they can to avoid that. And it's up to us to be smart, to recognize what's going on and read the financials and listen to what they're saying, read the risk factors in the 10Qs. And I just think that, I said this in January, this year, knowing what we know that the box office is going to be around somewhere between 8 and 9 billion, you've got to be very smart in your choices this year. That's why for me, this was not a hodl year. It was a trade year. And I want to be, if I'm lucky, I'll get properly positioned at the exact right point with the lowest possible price and then ride the unicorn into the sunset into 2025 and 2026. If I'm lucky. But anybody who's just been holding and not actively managing their position has probably been a little bit wrecked.
Yep. I'm back. Sorry about that.
That's all right. We were talking about the little frog boy.
Oh God.
So what is someone? Someone is saying Adam caused the company to lose profit. I mean, what I said, mediocre, was like if you didn't read the financials before you bought in and recognize what they did in 2016, then that's on you. That's not on Adam. All of that happened 5 years before you bought the fucking stock.
That's what the show's about. What was Roaring Kitty doing then on GameStop?
If you can't read a financial statement and then you want to complain about the executives, I say you are very foolish. Wired says you're worried about dilution, which is a boogeyman, but I'm more worried about IATSE going on strike. Everything goes down when they're in strike. Is that the which union is IATSE? Now you gonna give me something new to be worried about, Wired? That's not the crew strike, is it?
I'm worried about my wife getting home and me being on here. I'm only kidding.
She go to the casino, mediocre?
No, she should be pulling in here any minute.
IATSE, International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. So, I thought that the catering and other support staff strike got resolved.
Manuel, he told me 7 years. I didn't believe him. But that's what he told me.
IATSE are now several months into bargaining the Hollywood Basic Agreement. This was 4 days ago. This round of negotiations is certainly an improvement from past ones, So yeah, whatever this is, they're not done negotiating yet. Oh man, Wired. Why? Now I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Another strike to worry about.
I'm glad I'm in cash, Tony.
Well, I guess I don't need to lose any sleep, mediocre, because I'm not long on the stock at the moment. But I guess I got some reading to do this weekend.
Yeah, we do. It's all good. Why isn't that hurting the price though, Tony?
I don't know. I'm just scanning through this article. I'm just going to leave this up on my computer tonight so I can remember to check it in the morning. It's way too late to be reading about more bad news. Tech We Love says they better prevent a strike. The strikes are hurting the industry. Amen, man.
Agreed, Tech We Love.
This is
Agreed.
ridiculous, all these freaking strikes. Just pay the people what they're worth. Pay these people and quit over budgeting for your movies. Like, make some movies we want to see. Quit spending too much on them. We've seen low budget movies do really good. Get some original ideas, Hollywood. Come on, man. Do I need to move to LA and fix this shit myself? Bring some cowboy common sense to this bullshit. Green light, fuck you, green light. All right, mediocre. Guys, the last chance to get one good comment in. Send me on a rant, make me angry, ask something, anything.
I'm trying to say something funny.
Or just tell us you love us and thanks for the no emotional, no conspiracy DD. What you got, mediocre?
A Grill Gardener just popped in. What's up, Gorilla? I was gonna say I'm trying to be funny, but there's nothing to be funny about in here at the moment.
We had a good time. We had a good time watching Roaring Kitty.
We did. We went down a rabbit hole, Tony. That's what happened.
Wired Ape says, go see a movie and bring a friend. Amen. Buy a beer, buy a pizza, buy a large popcorn, get some chicken wings. Spend some fucking money. You probably all have enough stock. Just go see a movie. Fucking 5 kanks. Fucking 5 kanks. Keith Gill, be good on the board. I said earlier, he's a very smart guy. I appreciate his intellect and analysis. And what better person to be a front man for the company right now? If I was Ryan, I'd be seriously considering it. I don't know if they look at him as like board material. I don't know if he has the pedigree, the resume to be a board member. But if you could just give him a token board assignment as he's our mascot, I think that'd be a slam dunk. Why not?
Shareholder relations.
Yeah, give him a 2-year seat on the board. What's it going to hurt? I'd do it. He's got my vote. Roaring Kitty has my vote. Don't let anybody tell you I hate AMC. They're fucking liars. And don't let anybody tell you I hate Roaring Kitty either. Fucking 5 kanks says just putting his face with the company would be huge. Exactly. I mean, capitalize on it, Ryan. Hello. He fucking shut down computer share. So many people wanted to hear what this dude had to say. You had 2.5 million views on his fucking live stream where he didn't even say anything meaningful. Ryan, hello. Anya says, think of the retail support he would bring to GameStop. Exactly. He's not done with GME until they sell pet rocks. Exactly.
Oh man.
Oh man, I have a lot of good hopes for GameStop into next week. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not big on a lot of the crazy theories that you're hearing out there, like they can't find the shares and FTDs T plus 35. I don't buy into all that shit, and I don't really care about it. But what I do know is if Roaring Kitty's still involved, and there's some possibility of some upward momentum. I think it's a dumb short below $18. I'm in it around 23. I'm okay if it drops a little bit below where I'm in it at. Ryan Cohen's got the ace, the pocket aces with 4 billion of cash. It's overvalued right now, clearly, by any reasonable, non-emotional, fundamental analysis. It's overvalued. That's just the facts. Maybe I'll put a video out on that. But what's the point of me putting a video out on that? We're in a momentum trade right now. The only reason you need to know that it's overvalued is so you have reasonable expectations of when to take profits. That's all I care about, that y'all are reasonable in knowing when to take profits and reasonable about your buys. Like I love it between 18 and 23. I love it a lot more at 18 than 23, but I'm in at 23 for a momentum trade. I might change my mind next week, but we'll see. There's very little bad news you could throw at GameStop at this point.
They got so much freaking money.
Right. They have so much cash. They've just bought themselves a year of ancillary bad news. Nobody's going to fucking care. Because as soon as they announce some good news, what they're going to do with that cash, and let's make no mistake about it, that is what needs to happen. $4 billion on the balance sheet is irrelevant to Wall Street. They will short the fuck out of it. But the day they announce something positive that they did with that cash, look the fuck out. If you're short, you're going to get wrecked. If they made a smart decision. So let's be real. We got our fair value analysis and we have our speculation. There are two different buckets. It's okay to have two buckets. Don't mix them. Don't tell people this is fundamentally valued at $50. That's not true. It's not fundamentally valued at 30. It's not fundamentally fair valued at 25. It's speculatively based on the what if shit. And I'm right there with you. Just say it that way and I won't bitch. What if they do something magnificent with this money? Then it's gonna rocket up. You're gonna get upgraded analyst price targets. But until that happens, that's just speculation.
You know what they could do, Tony?
What?
They could buy a pet store because Kitty loves cats.
They could sell weed in GameStop.
GameStop and Petco. You heard it here first, folks.
What's a good name for GameStop selling edibles?
I just want everybody to know I'm only joking. Making jokes.
Anyways, don't let anybody tell you I'm negative on GameStop. Don't let anybody lie to you that I have a $7 price target. That's just liars on YouTube that don't want you to watch my channel.
Games, edibles, and kittens.
Games, edibles, and movies, mediocre. Muner says, weed, LOL. You'd be surprised how many comments I get from people that say, if only GameStop or AMC would offer edibles, it would change the business. But I get it. Like you're probably long on Sundial. I'm just kidding. But I don't know what the regulatory rules are on offering edibles at a GameStop or AMC. So I read your comments. I appreciate it, but I don't know. Chew game. Robert says, Anya says, as in Chewies. everlasting gobstonker. Game stonker. I don't know. We could probably come up with some name. Anyhow, mediocre. I think this is a good time to end it. We kind of got it back on a funny track. We had a lot of fun watching Roaring Kitty tonight. I'm surprised he did not go through the 10Q, the balance sheet, the income statement. This was what, part 6? So part 7, we're going to go probably ahead till right around Christmas when things started getting interesting. Part 8, 9, and 10, we'll start getting into January where things got really interesting. This is just kind of a look back at Roaring Kitty's DD. I've grown to love the man as a very reasonable value investor. He's good with his analysis. I don't hear him saying any crazy shit.
I'm pretty sure he was reading those, Tony, but he was just spitballing in his videos.
Yeah, but I mean, he's very reasonable in everything that he.
Oh,
Excuse me. I'm 3 beers in. He's very reasonable in everything he says, and I appreciate that about him so far. I'm curious if we get to a point where I see his bias change. I mean, clearly we know it changed, right? He went into the YOLO mode, but I want to see if we can pick up on that in his videos.
Yeah.
And if we don't, then we'll dig into Twitter and Reddit. But we're just going to keep on plugging along here because this is fascinating stuff. Hopefully you guys are finding it educational, entertaining. Maybe you never watched them before like us. And we'll see. We'll see over the next few segments. I'm not pre-watching them. I don't know what he's going to say.
Yeah, I don't know either. I hear it.
I think this is a great exercise and very timely to see. And it's also a good introspection to see how he was looking at it back then versus what's being said now. So anyways, it's my hope you guys find it valuable. And if not, at least you get to hang out with us and cheers about 100 times a night.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do the next one on Sunday. This weekend, I'll be working on some wheel strategy videos and keep on working on my DD on the upcoming value stocks that I'm looking into. Those take me a while to put the DD together to the point where I'm comfortable making a video on it. So yeah, I don't have any major plans this weekend other than seeing some movies and doing some DD, putting some videos out. So I'll be around. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Mediocre, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me as usual. Appreciate it.
Anya, thank you for modding tonight. Robert, thank you. Tech We Love, appreciate you guys being members of the channel. If you're interested in supporting the channel, there is that join button on a desktop or down in the video description. And if you support the channel, I don't talk about this a lot, but it is a free membership to the Discord where I am hanging out, answering your questions all day. Even though I'm not on YouTube all day, I am in Discord all day. So if that's of interest to you, God bless. You help me pay for the tools that help me provide you the info. So if you got some value out of that, 16 cents a day. Best deal out there going. Mediocre, we want to get you. Are you over 1,000 subs on your channel yet?
No, I don't even try, Tony.
Guys, can we send Mediocre a few subscribers tonight? What's your channel name, Mediocre Trader?
Mediocre? Let me look. I'll tell you exactly what it is. Hold on. Oh, the wife is home. It is called Mediocre Trader. That's it. Nothing special.
Surprise, surprise. Mediocre Trader. Guys, do me a favor and go give him a sub. I mean, we literally only make pennies doing this. But, his time is worth a couple pennies.
Pennies. I love pennies, you guys.
If we could get him over 1,000 subs, he could monetize these live streams. Right now, he's just doing all of this for free. So let's do a round of applause for Mediocre. All these months, you've been providing these people this valuable information at for no compensation. Go give the man a sub, ladies and gentlemen. And Mediocre, we need to see some occasional videos from you. You know that would help you with the algorithm, right?
I do. I thought about doing some funny stuff, but
make it about anything. Make it about politics. Make it about.
Oh, I can't do that, Tony. I got a reputation to uphold.
Make it about Italians.
Oh boy, do I really want to know about that, Tony? Come on.
But yeah, I mean, whatever. Just do something. Give us some content, Mediocre. We'll watch it. And guys, go support his channel. Thank you for watching tonight. Let me find the outro here. We're gonna wrap it up. And I gotta go. I guess I gotta go celebrate with Scarlett for her getting a job offer if she's still awake.
She might kill you.
She's going to be really mad that I'm still live streaming. But it is what it is. Like, gentlemen, are you the boss of your house or not? That's all I'm going to say. Mediocre, am I lying?
No.
No. We love you guys. Thank you. Have a good night. We'll see you on the next one.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today.